Mark in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this special sort of news. Brick something, needless ephemeral we saw. We've got a couple of co-hosts today. So if you haven't figured it out, our cover story, we are talking all about PowerCon 2023. You're looking at three California boys who are experiencing some serious FOMO. So first up underneath me is Thanos Copter. You may know him from Instagram and all his many amazing photos. Particularly, I know Wednesdays and Fridays seem to get a lot of chatter. What's up, Thanos?
How's it going, Brick?
And down there, we've got Jacob Cobb, web collector, who's been doing some great reviews of figures that I love and even stuff that I don't necessarily get. So I love to just sort of watch and see what he's got. What's up, Cobb?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me here.
Oh, always. So, yeah, man, we are the three California kids who are often online, and I say kids loosely, often online, with a bunch of other YouTubers and folks in chats, just, hanging out and being on streams like Oz's stream. And we know that a bunch of them are there right now. They're at PowerCon, right? And we're over here in the West, chilling in the sun, but...
Cali crew.
There's awesome toys, just toy info, toy news, right? And you were saying before we started, some of you, like, who's been paying attention to what's been going on the last day or so?
I've seen like a couple things, nothing too much. I saw a little breeze by the Formo thing, the dragons and the recolor wave. Saw the ramen toy thing that Geek Dad did.
Yeah.
Watch was that Fresh Monkey Fiction Pixel Dan did. And then I saw a picture from what's the Creative Beast, the ones that have the dragon. Yeah.
Perfect. We're gonna cover some of those, and some of the stuff you've mentioned I haven't even seen. I've seen some of Jay's coverage. I haven't seen Pixel Dan's coverage of that Fresh Monkey Fiction. So let's talk about it today and let's sort of respond to what we're seeing. How about you, Cobb? Have you been able to take a look at much coverage?
No, yesterday I was kind of busy throughout the day and mainly went and checked out stuff after I heard from you saying, come on here with you. I was like, oh, I better at least see what's out there. Check out a couple things. So
no, you're good. You're good. Because I think
very little.
The fresh reaction would be perfect, actually. And let's just kind of delve into it. And so chat, we'll say hello to them in a second. But while I'm doing that, if you all could kind of tell us what you're seeing, what you're most interested in seeing. We've got a couple of things lined up to look at, but I know we're missing a bunch of stuff. And if there's anything that you're like, no, we need to take a look at this, we'll bring it up when it makes sense. Cool. All right. So let's see who is here. First off, way early and on time. Silver K, smack that like with that preemptive smacking of the likes. I appreciate that. Thank you for that sentiment. That was like what, 9:30 or something, but absolutely. Let's see. I want to follow her wave for a second. There you go. Yes. All right. Who else is up in here? Nolan. As always, what's going on? Good to see you. Oh, yes, you fake like you're busy. Morning Pains. Great to see you. Great show last night with Bud and Eldor, showing off some making, right? August is mess making. Oh, actually, there's a name for it, but a special form of toy therapy. And I was happy to be there last week making this Dio background for my channel, and they were doing some next level stuff. I don't know if you all were there, right? I think
Yeah.
yeah.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
check it out.
Whew, good stuff. Let's see. This loser asking for patience. Speaking moistly. Sorry. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. Quip your. Sorry, that's probably really loud on the mic. And who else? Carol, good morning. Be careful on the road. That is the cutest dragon I've seen in a minute. We're gonna look at less cute ones, but awesome ones. Hola, Largo. I know that's not your main language, but you know, when in Nicaragua. Good to see you. Yeah, finally quit. We are. Yes, thank you so much. Highly articulated. Tanger and King Hannibal. That's all you need to know. Recap finished. This is what's beautiful about Adam. He's saving basically a ton of money that I will be losing. Good job. Good job. And actually, Adam, if you're still here, if you're not here, you suck. But if you're still here, you're awesome. And can you actually, if you've found any good images that I should show, I've actually had a hard time with some AWOC stuff. Send those to the usual spot, and I'll bring them up. Although, well, you'll see. All right, I think we've got everybody. Did I miss anybody? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. Okay.
Looks good.
So, on that note, let's go. So, oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen that little thing yelling at you at the bottom of the screen, on Monday is actually the anniversary of the Brick Something channel. It's been 1 year since I've been doing this, and clearly I'm a professional. So, and yes, it's both the channel's birthday and it happens to be this old man's birthday. So I did that intentionally, you know, really highlighting.
We got pretty close birthdays then.
Yeah. After?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to say? All right. Well, happy birthday.
The 28th at the end of the month.
Right on. Yes, Hannibal is code for something. It's when you put on this map. Never mind. Okay, and it has, yes, absolutely been a year. Hey, 1-6 shooter, what's going on, Trevor? Great work, man. Trevor's work is all over this con, which is awesome, and we'll be taking a look at that later. But yes, thank you so much for dropping in. Happy birthday. Thank you. Yes, happy birthday to the channel and happy birthday to myself. Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you for joining us. That is not Ray. This is Ray. How's it going?
What's up, Ray?
Okay. So, on that note, yes, it's the first anniversary. Would appreciate you all having been here. I don't even have to say like and subscribe because you all have been here and been around. I appreciate you. Anybody else who's watching this on replay or joining us later, please check it out. All right, enough chatter. Let's take a look at what we've got going on down at PowerCon or over at PowerCon. See, again, professional. It's been a year. All right, PowerCon. If you are unfamiliar, I should say this. If you're listening to us talk about some stuff, and you're like, man, I want to check that stuff out on my own without hearing these guys, blah, blah, blah. I do have something prepped for that. So I have this link, and it's bit.ly/bricksomethingnews. Check the capitalization. And if that's like something that is just too much for you to type in, go ahead and scan that QR code on the bottom right there. I'll kind of pop it up and down every now and then. It'll take you to a document. Full disclosure, the document is not done. I sort of stopped at 4 Horsemen Studios, but I will go back and do that later. So links are there if you want to follow along. This is the teacher in me. I love for folks to actually be able to follow along and check it out themselves. So let's go. Real quick, I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. I don't know if anybody's got their audio turned up a little too loud, but heads up.
A little bit, just to
Cool,
see.
cool. All right, appreciate that. Cool. So PowerCon started yesterday. It always falls around the same time, which is kind of a challenge for me because, as I said, I'm a teacher, and getting out around this time is rough. We're just starting up school. But I'm hoping that next year I will be able to make it happen. Have you all, either of you, been to a PowerCon, whether it was here in California or
No, I
in
haven't
Ohio?
been to a PowerCon.
Never.
No, I almost went to that last one we had. I was like, oh, I'll go next year. And then went over to Columbus. I was like, oh, man, I should have just went.
Are you familiar with the history and sort of where the name comes from, like its roots in particular brands?
I know it was a Masters con for a long time. I've taken a large break from toys until like about a year ago, a little over a year ago. So I wasn't really paying attention to any of the cons and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, so it was definitely a Masters of the Universe sort of convention, and at one point it was like Power and Thunder, right? So it was Masters of the Universe, Thundercats. Mattel at the time had those lines, and then we know that Thundercats eventually went to Super 7, but it was really centered around those two key brands, and that's why you had like the Four Horsemen going and doing their tribute figures and revealing them over at PowerCon. Since then, things have shifted. It moved from California to Ohio, and Mattel really isn't officially involved anymore. And so largely because of that, more folks have come in, more brands have come in. And the fun part is because the Hasbro and the Mattels aren't there, right? We're just talking like weeks after SDCC. They're not at this convention. So, you know, talking with Oz a little bit, just sort of saying how like, because of that absence, it creates the ability for other folks to kind of shine. And I will tell you right now that PowerCon is basically like my main con that I pay attention to, because a lot of the things that I love are there. So just to give you a sense of that, if we take a look at, if we go ahead and take a look at their exhibitors list, man, it's just filled with like the who's who of the stuff that's on my shelf and the stuff that I'm like most interested in. Right. So if you take a look, we got smaller companies as well as some of the larger, Boss Fight Studios, Creative Beast Studios, D13, Formo Toys, and each of these spots are the table numbers. So Boss Fight's got 2 tables, Creative Beast got 2 tables, D13's got 1. Four Horsemen has more than 4 tables, right? Yeah, they've probably got one of the longest lines in this place for sure.
Yeah.
Frazetta Museum, and on and on and on and on. Obviously, I'm just showing you this real quick because there's no way we're going to talk about everything. We're going to miss some great things, but just want to give you a sense of this. Here's some of the guests that are there, whether signing or doing meet and greets. You know, just to quickly pull out a couple of names. Dan Larson, Toy Galaxy, or what is it now? Secret Galaxy. Darius the Amazing, one of my favorite YouTubers / photographers. Dude is dope. His stuff is just, he covers the stuff that I love with a variety that I love, right? Everything from Kamen Rider to Four Horsemen stuff to some Hasbro stuff to AWOC. Like he's all over the place, kind of like me. Eamon O'Donoghue, artist extraordinaire, podcaster, and now figure designer for the new Frazetta line with the Frazetta girls. Like just a bunch of great folks, right? And so you can kind of just still see they're all here. Folks specifically selling Mego, all the different vendors, including friends of the channel, Hella Dope Toys, Hexastack, and others. I mean, you take a look at this. This is probably fueling our there's got to be another word for FOMO, because I don't fear it. I face the fact that I'm missing out, but just like that vibe of missing out, right?
It's like a longing.
Yeah, it's the LOMO. Curious, were there anything? I know I was moving through it fast, but like, what are the ones that maybe the top 3 for each of you that stand out from these guys from this list?
Definitely Formo, because I've been all in on
Yes.
the Legends of Dragonor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cool to see the Spearow stuff there. The new lion guy looks really cool. And then Savage Crucible, actually seeing some of the paint masters and their prototypes is pretty cool too.
Nice. Yeah, yes, absolutely. How about you, Cobb? What's standing out?
Try to say Thanos that Formo, the Dragonor,
Mm-hmm.
the Frazettas. I'm excited for some of those fire and ice stuff. That's what I've been eyeballing the most.
Yeah, that's your jam.
Yeah.
Was it so you were really into that Bakshi cartoon? And
yeah, I mean, I just a big nostalgia for that one, because I remember being like my friend's house, probably way too young to be watching that, and his older brother busting it out, throwing it on TV, and I was like, what the heck?
Oops,
I've never
sorry.
seen a cartoon like this.
Yep.
Back in the day, that and like Heavy Metal and those cartoons that we shouldn't have been watching.
You shouldn't have been watching. How old were you then? Your poor little young eyes.
Yeah, probably around 8 or 9.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a thing. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's like super nostalgic, right? That we probably never thought we would ever see. And then
funny, because I was just looking at some pictures. I was doing like a video of that Batman, that Barbarian Batman.
Yep.
And I was saying what attracted me to him was he looked like Dark Wolf.
Yeah.
So I was pulling up some pictures and stuff. And then the very next day, Instagram, I turn it on and there's Dark Wolf from there for Zeta. I was like, oh, that's so crazy.
Totally. Sorry for a second. It's going to be loud. No, 100%. That Batman that's exactly what I thought too. And, I was trying to figure out ways like, how do I cut off the ears? How do I hide the
Exactly. I was going to give him a little trim.
Yep. And all chasing that aesthetic because of this character. And, here he is now. All right. Well, that's cool. Obviously, we each have some level of personal investment in what we're going to take a look at today, which is always fun. Let's go ahead and start looking at some stuff. First off, I just kind of want to give a general overview, and I'm relying on folks who are there to cover it. Obviously, there's probably way better shots out there. Not way better. These guys are great, but like more variety. Like clearly, the show is so huge that these guys can't go around and take pictures of everything. So we're just going to kind of take a quick look. We'll start with Bastard Robo just to get a little bit of an overview of what's going on. Not really needing to at this point focus in on any one thing. I just kind of want to do an intro, sort of what we're seeing. But obviously there's this, right? Was shown over at SDCC. Yep. That's like, look at her to the side of it compared to the place.
It will be yours. Thanos.
Yep, and I'm gonna drive a couple hours to go visit it.
You're welcome to, Brick.
I might have to too.
This thing is amazing. There you go. This we'll circle back to this, but you can see that little early bird going on back there.
He's up for pre-order right now.
Had I known that it was going to be that simple, I wouldn't have asked John over there to get it for me. I was like, okay, cool. But yes, loving that. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Nice, some retro vibes, some neo retro vibes. Again, you've got this so far, right? Retro people embracing the old stuff that we love in newer forms. Same here with Earthworm Jim.
I saw those.
God, just so cool. Of course, some Machina / not mask cosplay at this event, right? That's something I didn't necessarily highlight, and that's no offense to the cosplayers because these guys work hard at these things. I know Alpha Magnus is there. Shout out.
Good ones.
Yep.
Some good pictures. Yeah, you probably seen the same ones I did.
Look at that. That's so cool. Interesting choice in Spider-Man's not going to yuck your yum. We'll take a look at these later from Mondo, but he came to the con to chew bubblegum. We've got
that's cool.
Yeah.
God, it's really great stuff. And this, and actually we are almost exactly going to circle back to these photos again, I think later, or maybe not. But look at that. Woo!
That Beastman's looking better in this picture than the last picture they showed of him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
What did they update? Honestly, I haven't been paying attention because
I'm not really sure. It's just like all
it.
together. It looks better put together.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about the last shot I saw. I was like, eh.
And
now, this is not the flocked, right? This one we're looking at, they are. I thought, am I making that up? We'll see that in a little bit. I thought there was an exclusive, but I know that's true for the Panther, maybe not for the Beastman. Real quickly, it says news, but if you'll see that news stands for needless ephemera we saw, not I saw everything and I know everything. So this is honestly just geeks geeking out about the crap that's on the internet. So, but look at that. Look at just the different heads. Yeah. We'll circle back to this for sure, but just kind of wanted to highlight what Bastard Robo has posted so far, because it's, you know, a good sense of what's out there. Hordak. Whew.
That's cool.
Both of you are big Masters of the Universe heads. So obviously the Motu of it all runs deep at PowerCon still. Like those roots are there. So sorry, I just need to pause because I love this sculpt. Like I have been in love with this sculpt since I've seen it. It's the best She-Ra, hands down. All right, that's enough. Creep. Faker. It wasn't in that way. It was just appreciation of, yes. Faker. What's that?
I was gonna say, yeah, the good She-Ra that actually looks decent is awesome.
Yep. She needs a lot more love and attention.
Yeah.
We need more figures of her and her area of the woods. Faker, looking beat up. Not personally sold on this one, but still cool. And just the artisans, man, the crafts people involved. Looks like this bone is coming off here. I like this. Sorry, it's both Lost, the Dharma Institute, and like Photon. Is it more Photon or more laser tag? I forget, but 80s kid. So that's Bastard Robo. Our homie John Mejia, Emerald Knight Photo. You know, these are his pin stuff, but here he is having a blast at the con. So happy that he gets to go and meet and hang out with Oz and Jay and all these other folks that he's sort of, you know, people have got to meet online but haven't been able to meet in person. They all get to do it this weekend. Sorry, still hearing a little bit of an extra painful version of my painful. Okay, you're good. Ah, man. OMG, this is nuts. Tomorrow, please, come faster. Holy crap. Looking forward to hearing from those guys. Hopefully, we'll be going live again tonight and checking in.
How much longer is that going for? I can't.
They've got till September. Ooh, I don't know the date, but we'll do a check-in in a little bit unless someone knows off the bat.
I don't remember the date.
Every time I see it, I'm still questioning if I should or not.
Beautiful Battle Cat again, like the She-Ra. This is easily for me the best Battle Cat ever, and just in both cases they're reimagining the character, right? But still, there's something about their approach that feels very classic and gorgeous.
Yeah, that armor's sick on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like his new armor and Panther's new armor. Like both of them, really cool updates.
Yep.
Maybe get in a different scale so that I can play with one, because I'm not going to do Mondo.
It's still going to look small in your cat slayer, but sure.
That's true.
Little Cringer at that angle looks like he's using the restroom.
This one? Yeah. I mean, you know, Kitty's got to go.
Right on the lawn.
On some Eternian litter. Yeah, that thing is amazing. Got some Ultimates,
Yeah.
G.I. Joes. And these are all his photos. But yes, this is all in prep, I think, for Revolution. Motu Revolution. Spoilers. Okay. Last one I sort of want to just highlight overview photos of. This is from that Greg Needham. Awesome guy who I met on the GDL Geek Dad Life Discord. Reached out to him. He's like, yeah, here's all my photos. Show him. And he's going to keep sort of sending me stuff that I'll probably be able to hop on again and share. Some turtles, some NECA turtles. Oh my gosh. Do either of you remember or know the name of the sculptor of these by any chance? Oh God, I'm so bad. He's an amazing toy designer. He did the Mondo Man thing that I continue.
That thing is beautiful.
To lust for. If anybody in the chat knows who it is, we would absolutely love that. Oh yeah, I just forgot about the chat. What's going on, folks? Kayla is just yes. How can I miss out on this goldness? This gold.
Say hi to Duchess. Yeah.
Yes. How's it going, Duchess? Thank you for joining us. Awesome. Yes, this is probably for Beastman. Let's see what people are excited about.
Panther.
Beastman. Yeah, Panther. Fluffy. The Marshall and 3-0 are definitely must-gets for Nolan. Absolutely. Same here. I love their take on that character. Cosplaying is absolutely no joke. It's some art. Straight up art. Let's see. I totally missed this, but this is probably around She-Ra. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see. Oh man, I'm missing all sorts of good stuff. My bad. I ain't gonna be able to show everything, but let's just jump through some of this stuff. Absolutely. Very nice surprise. And there was a great interview over on 16 Shooters channel for Legion's Lounge this week with Sarah from Frazetta Girls, the granddaughter of Frank Frazetta. Super informative and just really cool to kind of hear about how they were able to develop the foundation and do this work, and her sort of like exploring and learning more and more about art in general, but specifically her grandfather's legacy as a papa myself. I think that's fascinating. Just, you hear a little bit about her interaction with her grandfather, not really thinking much of him until decades later. She's now running this company, trying to bring his work to life in new ways and maintain the legacy. Fascinating. Silver K appreciates a good toytuber. Cool, good to know. Nolan's like Inspiro. Ramen Formo, good. We'll check out some stuff. Oops. Mattel used to be there. They used to have a relationship with the con. They no longer do. It's complicated, as they like to say on social media.
Just the last 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And thanks for the hookup, Adam. I found it, and it's in the queue. And cool. All right. We'll end on that for the comments. All right. So continuing on with Greg's stuff. So I just wanted to say that the sculptor, this is amazing. Of course, I can't remember his name because I'm an old man, but I just found out that he did all these Universal monsters, and you totally see it in the level of detail. Anyways, were you at all, either of you, into turtles? Or is that something you're collecting?
I have a few. It's not like my main thing though.
Mm-hmm. What's your turtle lane? Are we talking NECA, Super 7?
I have a set of the second movie NECA turtles, and then I have I really like the 2012 turtles.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun. They're small, but they're articulated well and they look good. Mm-hmm. And then the latest movie, I bought a set of those turtles because I went out and saw the movie, and the next day I was like, I'm getting these guys.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun.
How about you, Cobb?
Yeah, Turtles was kind of my thing after He-Man.
Okay.
Got into Turtles and funny. I remember like when the movies came out, I had some movie turtles, like back when the original movies came out, and I didn't really have my He-Man anymore. Then another friend of mine had a collection of He-Man. I ended up trading turtles back for He-Man again. So went back to the beginning again.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
happens with
I don't have any
collections.
turtles right now, but if I was collecting any, I think just the ones that look like the original ones. They have just those basic ones.
The
Then start
Mirage
with
type, the Mirage type, like basic ones.
Yeah,
I saw that set in the store the other day and thought about it, but it's a little pricey.
We're talking all red.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my turtles too. Actually, my turtles were all black and white except for the covers.
They have those too.
I've shown them to like folks younger than me, not recently, but this is a while back, and they're like, "Wait, they're all Raphael." I was like, "No." I don't currently have any turtles, but I am waiting on some things to move through the 5K pipeline to get some. I think I landed on the turtles that I at least want to try out.
Yeah, have the Donnie from them come in.
Oh yeah, that's the anyway, the autumn one. Yeah,
I don't remember.
We'll talk more, but I was thinking I'm leaning towards the big beefy weirdo ones, but we'll see.
Oh, the king turtle. Yeah, it looks cool.
Epic hacks. These are cool. I don't have any. Do either of you mess with the hacks?
I've looked at them, but I haven't picked any up.
No.
I'm kind of getting my skeletal fill from Four Horsemen whenever those Necronominus waves come in. I've got a lot, so
I'm just getting where I'm breaking away from Master or just Master of the Universe at all, kind of dipping into other things just a little bit. Finally branching out.
Yeah, I saw that dipping into like Fortnite and kind of more like
the Fortnite was just
adjacent.
Fortnite was just a random discounted like $10. I was like, oh, why not?
I love that moment though. Maybe moving beyond a brand, but also maybe moving beyond a figure style. I noticed when I saw your review of that Fortnite figure, you're kind of like, oh, looking at how it's constructed and stuff. That's why I actually love to check out
Grimsword together. That Grimsword I loved. And then the Fortnite guy just was kind of a little extra, but the Grimsword's awesome. I like him, so I might be getting more of those too.
NECA does some good stuff. Well, Epic hacks, they're cool. They're smaller. They do some great designs. I love the goofiness of the cowboy or the luchador.
I know. I like that luchador.
So cool to see him in the loose ass clothes and stuff.
What's he got in his right hand? Do you know?
It looks like a baseball bat.
Yeah, maybe it's kind of like a little barbed wire or something around it.
With barbed wire around it.
Foreign object.
Yeah. Could have been how he died. All right. So Greg also obviously spent some time at the Mondo booth. Is this the fluffy goodness of which you speak, Kayla?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. So let's see. So cool. Mondo unveiled. We'll use this as sort of our Mondo section because I didn't really have a good other source of it, but they're moving into they're also doing movie stuff, right? Kind of along the lines of your Hot Toys, right? And your and so the what am I trying to? What's the word? Photoreal, real life type stuff. We saw the Master stuff. We've seen the Batman stuff animated, but here is their take on realistic looking scopes. Some amazing stuff. Sorry, this is in a different format, so a little bit harder to navigate. But take a look at these. I remember looking at that dog, right? And just
it was
gross. Woo. If you're not familiar with the movie The Thing, the remake, or the first remake, if you will, from the 80s, you definitely should check it out. It features Peter Quill's dad dealing with aliens. Oops. Let's see what else we got going on. So this is again more the animated style, right? Doing that I don't know. I heard that the X-Men were supposedly in some cartoon at some point in the 90s, but I reject it.
Oh,
It
come
doesn't
on.
exist. No, no. You know me. I rarely hate, so I'll throw that out there. But I know there's love for it. Was this your thing? And there's no hate on that.
I was
totally got that,
hooked on X-Men as a kid. First time I saw a Nightcrawler on a comic book cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been following them since the 80s. And you know, like when Classic came out, it was a good chance to like get those stories that I had missed, because they did the X-Men Classics where it reprinted
Classics,
like
yep.
the Phoenix and the Dark Phoenix.
So good. But then the cartoon you were into.
I liked the cartoon. Obviously, there's like, you know, Wolverine, every time he pops his claws out and does nothing, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But I appreciate like that they would go back and do a storyline, even with different characters. I thought they did a good job of getting the feel of the storylines in a cartoon.
Nice. How about you, Cobb? Were you into the?
Yeah, I remember watching X-Men and like the anime Batman. Both those were big for me when I was younger.
Nice.
Yeah.
I, like Thanos, was a big comic book kid. I've been collecting basically X books since I was like in the first grade. Thanks to my dad, who came home one day with a bunch of books and said, "Hey, I want you guys to check these out." So me and my brother divvied it up. I ended up with like the X side of things, and he ended up with a bunch of other stuff, including like DC Avengers stuff, GI Joe, Transformers. Anyway, so I liked it, and unlike Thanos, I wasn't involved enough to accept the animated show. I wasn't personally super into the art. I actually think these figures look. I love the look of these more than the art, because you know they were doing those pretty quickly too back in the day, and they were mashing up storylines that in a way that I wasn't involved enough. Other folks,
I was not to where I could accept the movies when the movies came out. I still have my issues with those movies. Casting was pretty good, but that was about all they did well in those movies, in my opinion.
Quip was with us, right? All about X-Men, and never, but he came in through a different direction, right? Cartoons, video games, trading cards, which is awesome. Which is why these companies do it.
Yep. The Marvel Universe, and then the Jim Lee X-Men cards, and then later like the Metal series.
Yeah. What's going on, Kato? We'll hear a little bit more from Kato later, but Kato's on the ground over there doing some shopping and also doing some slanging for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. I am absolutely jealous. We'll hear from him in a little bit as well. Cool. Black Phoenix, you better have comics, man, because you have embraced that Phoenix, and I respect it.
Yeah, I know he does.
What's going on, Adam? Thank you for joining us. And yes, a lot of folks love the cards. Yeah, I'm still sitting on my long boxes that trying to figure out what to do with. Frankie Rivera, thank you for joining us. All right. Enough hating on the animated show from Brick. I will say, I said I was evolved, right? And then you said, I said you were more evolved for accepting that. And then you flipped and you were like, no, I wasn't evolved enough to appreciate the movies. And I'm intentionally using the word evolved, by the way, folks. There's some X-Men for you. And I accepted and kind of embraced those and was willing to let it go. I don't think that means I'm more evolved than you. I think that means you've got better taste. All right. So, yeah, more in the Mondo. Man, I appreciate so much how they're able to reimagine some of these characters, particularly the Masters of the Universe. Sorry, this thing is different. I love when Google says, no, you will not do Apple things in Google software. So, yeah, we've got their Mondo Skeletor next to their X-Men. You can kind of see the X-Men definitely, is trying to embrace the aesthetic. Ooh, we'll get to you in a second. Embrace the aesthetic of the animated show a little bit more, while the Motu is just doing their own thing. Cool stuff. Nothing really new though, yeah. On the X-Men side at this show, just kind of showing off their stuff.
I hadn't seen the Gambit one yet, but
okay, is that new?
First time I've seen it too.
I don't know, because I don't really pay too much attention to Mondo. I look at it like when something comes up, I'm like, oh, it looks cool, but
I can't have you.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's just I can't do it. Like, and I spend stupid amount of money on toys and have a disregard for space apparently with getting the Cat Slayer and Eternia, but
just not on those toys. Yeah. All right.
They look great though.
Absolutely. Chew, if you see at the very bottom here, I don't know if you can see that on your screen because of the banner. He's got some bubble gum there at the bottom.
I was gonna say, there it is.
Is it an empty pack though?
Yeah, from They Live, right? Which is a pop cultural phenomenon. If you're familiar with Shepard Fairey's Andre the Giant Obey, that's a direct lift from this movie. If you haven't seen this movie and want a quick lesson on maybe hegemony and propaganda, check it out. I'll stop there. They Live. And so this is our main character. I don't know. In the 80s, they had this vision of taking pro wrestlers and putting them in movies. Who knew that that would be such a successful model, right? One of the most famous box office draws right now, The Rock, probably owes something to this guy, right? Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Great looking likeness. Soft goods, when done well, are my jam. And this thing looks great. And I don't know, Kayla, if there's a name for this device. Yeah, I don't know if there's a name for this device. If you happen to know, please educate me. It looks like it could be used for fun. Let's see. Some Batman stuff. This, in the 90s, this was my jam. And I was not a big Batman comic book collector. So I don't know if there's Batman comic book collectors who responded to this cartoon the way I responded to the X-Men because of their love for the comics. I don't know if that's something that exists.
This is what this and the original movies were what got me into Batman. Like, I'd read a few of his comics, but I was never a real big DC guy. Like, I've liked a few runs on Green Lantern and a couple other things here and there, but
it
was a good cartoon though.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I just need to pause for this because that stand. It's apparently Pains knows what's up. It's called the Splitter. It's the Splitter. Yes.
Ouch.
This Man Bat is epic. People keep saying, like, people are talking about, like, oh my god, this thing, the wingspan is crazy. What are people gonna do with this? And I kept thinking, I grew up. I was born in 76. I was born into a house almost. I think he got this when I was a little older, but I was, I guess, came to consciousness in a home that had a Shogun Warriors-esque. It wasn't exactly Shogun Warriors. What's his name? Rodan. It's actually bigger than this. So it's just funny how our sense of scale has shifted, because this was before the oil crisis and toys shrank, right? When G.I. Joes were all 12-inch. And now people are like, you can't have a 6-inch vehicle, when I was like, I kind of remember a time, but obviously different production process, basic plastic shells. But it's just funny, our sense of scale has shifted, because this thing is still smaller than some of the toys that I played with as like a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. These are great. Just really, like, Mondo does such a good job of capturing the like spirit of these characters,
If these were in smaller scale, I would pick these up. At least those three.
Yeah. That Joker, it's always... That face on that Joker from the cartoon is just always so great to me.
And, granted, when you're working in a larger scale, you can work in a lot more detail. Not just in the skull, but it's a little bit easier to paint and get with a level of precision. But this stuff is gorgeous. Even just Art Geek here for a second. just the like how they capture the gestures and the dynamism. Like these characters effectively are all standing up straight, but when you look at them, they are not static because of the way that these character designs were done, right? The angles, the curves, and they each have a personality just based on their stance. Anyway, love this stuff. And then we've got some of their other stuff down here that is, I don't even know what this franchise is. This Doom. Oh God, I do know Doom.
Yeah, it is Doom.
The tricky part is the Doom that I grew up with didn't look anything approaching these toys, right?
Yeah,
they didn't look like that.
Old Doom.
These are great though. Unfortunately, we don't got any other shots, and we should probably keep it moving anyways. We saw this a little bit earlier, but again, Google and Apple do not want to play nice with each other. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Enough said. Let's move on. All right, that was Greg's. Oh no, actually, no. Greg shared this. And
oh yeah,
that is so cool.
Yeah. Like phone or whatever in there.
Yes, and so respect to the dio makers who incorporating a little iPad or phablet, right, behind there. And there's some shots we'll take a look at later from Savage Crucible's IG, but that thing is cool, and that environment, epic.
Did you back the Harbinger?
I did not. I had to make some serious choices, and I know it feels really silly about it, but I opted not to. You?
Yeah, that was one.
That was one of yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I did. I honestly wish I could have gotten everything, but I couldn't.
Yeah. I ended up. It was him, Jaeger, and the Frazetta warrior. Those are the three I backed.
Nice.
And then one of the barbarian packs for the middle fingers.
Got it. All right, let's move on to some dinos. Creative Beast Studios, again, one of the smaller companies that I want to say they were at SDCC. Maybe they weren't, but I just feel like they get lost often in the sort of like the quote unquote news cycle of YouTube, of toy channels and stuff. Like I don't hear enough about them. I know some folks are like, I love my Jurassic Park. Don't take away the fantasy of non-realistic dinos. But I appreciate what this dude is doing, the studio's doing. Really trying to capture a little bit more of like what modern science says that dinosaurs and pterosaurs and other creatures of the Cenozoic, Mesozoic, fun fact, not Jurassic, like look like, right? And just, I know it's a little weird. People complain about the little goofy arms but I appreciate that. I appreciate the reality sometimes, and the just the difference. How do you guys? Where do you guys stand on the realistic depiction of dinosaurs and or this toy company in general?
I don't know too much about these guys. Every once in a while, I'll hear somebody say something and see a picture here and there, and their stuff always looks good. As far as in Masters, I want the big goofy dinos, but as far as anything else, like I like a variation where you can go the Jurassic Park style or you can go like this style.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same. I don't think I've ever even heard of them till right now with you.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see these pictures at all yesterday either. So.
Yep. Yeah, case in point.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll hear something, but it's few and far between.
Of course, I'm waiting for those Motu dinosaurs too.
Yeah, those ones I want big and goofy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for yes. Case in point, not enough folks know about Creative Beast Studio, and it's definitely one that I wish more people would. I'm sitting on one that I need to unbox, so I'll get to that soon and hopefully try and showcase it a little. But this guy, they're not just stuck in that period. They're doing a newer line called Cyberzoic that I believe a Kickstarter is pending. Mixing in that sort of sci-fi and like a really strong anime vibe with these dinos. And so a lot of people say Dino Riders. Absolutely, that's the basic blueprint, but I would say more in a anime inspired or a little bit more modern science fiction style.
One of
This
the
is where
pictures
they're
kind of had like some Zoid vibes going for it.
yes. Yep. Let's take a look at that. Not quite
Yeah.
this one, but I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That
This
looks really
again,
cool, though.
courtesy of Bastard Robo. These things are just like speaking brick something's language.
What
Give me
is
a
the scale on
creature.
these?
So, okay, this is where we get super geeky. The dinos are in like a particular scale, and I don't talk this language because, you know, it's based on the reality. So, but they're not, this one in particular is a realistic raptor size to 112. It's actually runs, it's one of these lines I think is running between the 112 and 110 range, right? That sweet spot, what I call the Four Horsemen sweet spot. That's like my kind of collection, sometimes a little bit taller, like with Masterverse. So I think these are going to be compatible with those. And so, like, you know, people correct me all the time when I talk about it because they're like, that Tyrannosaurus Rex is actually not 112 if you're going by human scale. But so, yeah. But they've even got the detail of like the toe, right, that stands, which I think throws people off. I've heard a lot of criticism because it's like, oh, they don't stand well, and that's why he's got them propped up on the wing or the arms. But I don't know. I think it.
You know, if the leg joints are strong enough, I've been using the museum wax for things that are kind of like that. Like the Storm Collectibles Tears Flare, her dragon. Like I was having a lot of issues with it. Put some museum wax on the feet. Holds fine in any pose I want to put it in now.
Yep. Yeah, I have a big, poor Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, most weren't in the Jurassic. Fun fact, and Kayla's with me, you Bay Area nerd. I don't know, I guess that's a Bay thing. And I agree, these dinos do look pretty damn good. And yeah, I thought dinosaurs had feathers as well.
Yeah, got some on these ones.
They're here. Yeah. Okay, so the basic gist of what I'm seeing from Cyberzoic is you got your dino, you get some armor, and then you throw on, you can have figures ride them and pilot them. But the cool thing is, I believe some of these, the armor comes off, transforms into kind of a ship itself, or a dino itself, a metallic dino kind of drone type thing. I've only seen those in concepts, and you can see it more here. Right,
Oh,
so they have sidekicks, and I've heard that some of these can transform into armor pieces and sit on the other dinos. So they're trying to do some really like innovative stuff.
Yeah, that's
while
crazy.
blending it. So we shall see how that all turns out. But I know that I've been watching these closely. Same here. Look at this. A little less tech, but just really cool armor. That's Masters of the Universe in my mind. This is gonna hang out with those guys in my weird little universe. You can kind of see it, something going on here. Let's see if I can zoom in.
Yeah, I need some mounts for Masterverse.
Yep. Great stuff. Then we've got they also are working on a line. They have the Cyberzoic, which is these. But they're doing beasts of the Cenozoic as well, which are more like the era of the mammals, right? The early mammals. And so we're seeing this guy there. Such cool stuff. Absolutely could be a mount for one of your Masterverse.
This was the one.
Yeah. This is your Zoids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And that one I know for a fact detaches and becomes a ship, which is really cool.
Looks like a really fun toy line, actually.
Yeah, I think it definitely embraces the fun and fantasy of it all. And the whole transforming pieces has some cool like play features. Hoping it gets a lot more attention than it has right now.
What's the price range on these? Do you know?
It's in the not cheap price range. So the dinos themselves and the raptors are pretty up there. They're like a $50 kind of thing for the raptors, which are smaller, and they can go up from there. I don't know what these are going to be, and they're going to be kickstarted, so we're just going to have to sort of wait and see. They haven't talked price as far as I know. If other folks know,
If they
please let
could
us know.
get the price down, I think kids could get into the line. Like if it's gonna stay, like it'll be people like you and me that pick it up.
Yeah,
But I think it's a line that kids would like.
absolutely. I suspect that this is, I don't know. I have a gut feeling that it's not going to be a kid line. This is going to be the all, if you like Mythic Legions or Cosmic Legions or, that set. But maybe not. But that's what Beasts of the Mesozoic has been. It hasn't necessarily been for kids, although I know that my kids are super into them. But like, there are those kids who love dinosaurs, right? And there aren't the realistic ones. So I think, they're an option. More from their Beasts of the Mesozoic. So
remind me of that video game Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew what I was talking about, but I was watching somebody playing that, and that's what those dinosaurs remind me of, with all the robotic parts on them.
And that's pretty much all I know. I don't play them, but I watch people totally play them online.
I watch more than I play.
Yeah, and man, apologies. I wish StreamYard wouldn't cover your face the way it does. I hate that part. So
it's cool. Get rid of it.
My bad. Pains, absolutely. These are Dino Riders 2.0. Yes, the dinosaurs are still around. Absolutely right. My 12-year-old loves to remind me of that all the time. Absolutely, Dino Riders meets Zoids. What's up, bud? That's exactly what these are. And highly articulated's right. The price is why people aren't talking about this line. You're right. It has a particular, it's kind of, it gatekeeps itself in many ways based on class and economics.
That's unfortunate because I really do think it could be a big hit.
I think so too. And I think it's interesting. We're going to be seeing that, we'll see that. We see this sort of like the collector end is definitely defining and redefining itself, and the pricier toys, etc. And then we're seeing more and more people doing the younger versions, right? And so some would argue maybe they're actually knocking them off. But I've seen that in a couple recent lines that I don't need to go into too deeply. But where you'll have like a high-end collector, super well painted, sculpted, realistic, etc. for collectors, articulation for days. And then you'll see somebody else taking a similar concept and really trying to get that like kid-ish version. I still, though, the ones that I'm thinking of that don't want to name, I'm skirting around intentionally.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's not like they're necessarily hitting the kids yet. You know what I mean? Like, even though they are tend to be a little cheaper, they're not reaching it yet. So I think that's where some of these companies are trying to weigh it out, right? It's like, well, we want to make a particular thing, and we'd love maybe the mass market of it all. But the question is, will the mass market even actually embrace it in 2023? Like, that's the deal. I hear what people are saying, make them cheaper. But I think so much of culture, so much of the way we watch TV now, right, and entertainment makes it harder to pull those Hasbro Mattel moves of the 80s and make something huge. I just think those days are gone.
I don't know. I think if media would change to, instead of just a binge thing, go back to like, there's actually 52 episodes in a year or close to it, then something could stay, like, the brand awareness could stay around long enough to support
maybe
some of that stuff.
Say 10 episodes and you're done.
Yeah. I think it's less about the amount of episodes for me, as you can have a 52 episode every week thing. But here's the deal. When I was growing up, you were in Southern California, right? I don't know how far the signal reached to you, but to me, when I was growing up in LA, there was channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13.
Yeah.
I had 7 choices, and maybe 3 of those showed cartoons. So you could have a 52 episode thing on Netflix, but how many different shows are on Netflix at any given time? And then there's a Hulu, Peacock, I'm just trying to think of other ones. Disney Plus, like there's a bunch of choices, right? And that's what I'm talking about. There's the landscape is fragmented, not to mention the influence of things like manga and anime. Like people are, so that it's more about how fragmented I think the market is and the accessibility of stuff, where people don't all have to ride the GI Joe wagon like we kind of had to, right? Because it was like it's a week, and that was a thing everyone was talking about in the schoolyard.
Yeah,
I work in schools. Kids talk about all sorts of stuff, and but anyway, just wrapping my head around it. But I suspect you're right that we'll have to see if we can recapture that. I just don't think we can get GI Joe-esque.
Well, there's definitely like a
in the
lot
same
more
way
to choose from. So
yeah. All right. Sorry, we were waxing philosophical. Let's finish this up just quickly. And I know this is running slow, but you know what? I don't know what your guys' schedule is, but I'll try and move through it. But there's just so much to go over. It's PowerCon, man.
That
It's
thing's
wild.
amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yes. There's not a ton of progress either. Like I've been following this thing for a while. I know you have too. And so let's give folks a break, their eyes a break. But I'm still like just waiting for this thing. I want to know what the price point is going to be on this thing. Just curious, what do you think what would be a fair and realistic price point for this?
I honestly have no idea. I know I'm getting tired of spending a ton of money on toys, but I wouldn't want it to be like over 150, 200 at the max, like,
Yeah.
But
Yep. How about you, Cobb? What do you think would be
like max 200 is what would be nice, but never know nowadays. Everything just seems so expensive. There's just so much out there, and all these big products and stuff now. Yeah.
Yep.
Paying 200.
Sorry, not while you're talking. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you're good.
But it looks like quality. It looks like a lot of plastic. It looks solid, articulated. So, I mean, it's nice. It's really nice.
I like the paint so far, too.
That's the thing. If you look at these Beasts of the Mesozoic figures, man, the engineering behind them, the the sculpts, the detail, and the paint, like nothing is cut short, right? There's no shortcuts here. And so I get the price. I absolutely get the price. Which like it moves us into this whole other direction of like, yes, I'm buying toys. I'm also buying like this work of art in a way that like just wasn't the case when we were growing up, right? Makes sense. I mean, we grew up and we have a little bit more money to spend. Some of us more than others. That's the reality. And I think you're right. I think we're all sick and tired of maybe spending way too much on toys. Like it's pretty ridiculous. Like I have to acknowledge this habit is ridiculous, but it's dope. Like this is, I don't know, like people collect fine art. I feel like I'm in many ways collecting fine art.
Yeah, it is art. I mean,
I start to question my purchases, but like yesterday I was shooting a bunch of photos. I'm like, I'm having so much fun that it actually is worth the price of admission. But
sure,
it's still, I think about it sometimes, like, why did I spend, like, the Cat Slayer, like, why did I spend $850? Like, it looks amazing, but damn.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm thinking around 200 for this too. I would probably, depending on the size, go as high as 250. And the thing is, I always tell myself, oh, I'm gonna get this big thing, because how many times am I gonna get these big things? And I'm looking at my shelf, I'm like, well, I could tell you.
Every month it feels like.
That's the problem. That's the conversation we need to have. Anyways, I've featured this on news before. I just love it so much, and I love to see the progress. So I'll go ahead and move on. And I think that pretty much closes out Creative Beast Studios. Let's shift to ramen. Speaking of, we can't all collect cars. Apparently, toy collectors.
One that works.
Yep. And so let's get the voice of reason in here before we get irrational again with ramen. My living expenses have gone up. My income has not. Huh. That's weird. No, it's actually the state of capitalism. But yes, but my income is not. I can't pay less mortgage or not buy food. So that means fewer toys. Is that what that means? Is it though? No, you're absolutely right. As usual, he's such a
Less
rational
food
and
and renting a room out in the
intelligent
house is what that means.
Is that yeah? Here, let's shift it a little bit. Get a nice little there you go. Change the tone. You're right, Adam. You're right. But we're gonna ignore that because that's what stupid people do. Yes, toys. Like folks are all about different versions of toys, right? Whether it's cars, whether it's spoons. What's up, Adam? Whether it's again paintings, art. Man, it's we all have our things. Have you all seen that meme of the mom and her old china trying to tell us how valuable these things are going to be? And I keep thinking, yeah, that's me to my kids. No, these toys, I swear, they're going to be important. Oh, all right, Quip. There's a shift. Like this is a reality. Wow, this is the sober moment of our PowerCon coverage where we start to lament our life choices and our purchases, and we start to get responsible. Oh man,
Yeah, Turtle's Lair being $300 for basically just a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Hatter's coverage of that. And he's right.
Looks really cool, but yeah, 300. I was like, man,
You could build that with trash in an afternoon. Like, you really could.
Yep. And we're gonna see. I think the market will quote unquote correct itself, and people will sober up a little bit. And unfortunately, we're hitting saturation, right? As highly articulated points out here. Yeah. And other stuff people collect, absolutely instruments, right? I'm a musician, but I was a punk rock musician, so I played cheap ass Squire bass.
When I was a drummer, I had so much money into that kit, and like,
yep,
I ended up just giving it away because I like moved somewhere and I couldn't take it with me, so I gave it to my little cousin.
Oh, the Iron Cobra of it all. No, absolutely. Yeah, people are thinking, people are sobering up. I love it. Like, yes, you're all right. Pains, we are officially in the group therapy session where we are all yes. However, right. What's up, TJC? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, let's on that note, let's just talk about new companies who are producing old things in new forms, charging maybe a little bit more for them. And let's go back to that part. Capitalism calls, toy collecting calls.
Ramen toys, yeah.
Ramen toy, right?
If you're looking for Marshall, you have to search for it. Like, it's not on the page.
Yeah, because I think theoretically it was supposed to be for attendees, and the link is out there. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
If you just search Marshall, it'll pop up though.
Yeah.
You
can kind of see this stuff. Everything from mask to Machina / mask, 80s Commander / 80s Commanders / Centurions, right? Ramen Racer / everything, right? Ghost Rider, Fast and the Furious, a car with an unfortunate flag on it. Yes, I said it. But I still watched Dukes of Hazzard as a kid.
I had the car with the unfortunate flag on it when I was a kid.
Damn Dukes.
I had no idea what it was.
Go Cooter. So yeah, and then we got some Top Gun. So he's doing this thing, and Ace is at PowerCon and revealed some new stuff too. So let's talk about them, and I'll try and move through them. Here's the Ramen Racer, and it's sort of Ghost Rider-esque form. Don't want to get too into the whole, in my mind, annoying conversation around the HasLab that this was sort of.
I like that Ace is just like, oh, it didn't fund. We'll make that. Like,
sure,
it's cool.
Yeah, I really like Ace. Ace is He's awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. He's essentially, hey, Kayla, filling holes in the market, right? Filling those gaps. And I think it's smart. I wonder how long the run will go. And we cross our fingers. And so, but yeah, we've got this dude. He reminds me of somebody, but I know he's not that person. This is the giveaway, right? Of this with stickers, decals, so you can actually, what do you call it? Sorry, not giveaway, but an exclusive giveaway bundle is what they're calling it. So that you can get this head that might remind you of a famous actor slash, yeah. And apparently the stickers are there so you can kind of like customize these guys, right? Like badges, which, you know, I think could work. It's interesting because it, you know, they are patches, right? That you sew on. So there's a little bit of a lift on the actual thing in the real world. I'm not a big fan of decals myself, or as our Canadian fans like to say, decals. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a choice. But the detail on these are amazing, right? Really just the paying attention to the uniforms and how they're constructed. The helmets look really cool. If you've got a military shelf and, you know, want to build out your troops and your pilots, here you go. We got the 80s commanders again for that Centurions flavor. Did anybody have Centurions back in the day?
Yeah, I always thought those were so cool to be able to attach to anywhere on them.
Yep. I love them too.
But I never had them.
I picked up a few, like most of my stuff I had from all swap meets and stuff. That's how I had all my He-Man and everything because I got it later on. So
yep, I picked these up on the end of the line when they were being basically cleared out of Toys R Us. And you know, when they had that special sticker, it might have been even KB, I could get the go-ahead from my parents, but not from them, but to ask for it from my aunts and uncles. And so I had a couple cool toys. Let's move on.
I had the green dude. It's the only one I remember having, I think.
Yep, the aquatic, right? They had the land dude, basically, like if you're talking branches of military, the Army, the Navy.
I had him and then the cyborg dude in the back.
This guy? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had him and his and the main bad guy that you could split them apart and combine them.
Okay, yeah. Is that the like the reddish maroon one? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
You could split them apart and just switch their parts in half. And Ace and Ramen Toy have it so that they have the drone as well that can kind of live in the middle. Pretty cool, like cool features. Again, covered by D Amazing. Thank you, Darius. Let's move on to the Valaverse of it all.
Did you see the He-Man and Skeletor prototype that Ace was?
Duh. Yes, I'm so sorry. I absolutely did.
Trying to work with Mattel on that in the Bad to the Bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
License.
Oh my God, where's my cup? I did have a photo of it, but yeah, I think that was the intent was to.
You got us here, and you're skipping He-Man.
I know. If you all can
make
pull
sure
up
we're paying attention.
If you all can pull up a link and throw it in the thing, I don't know where the one that I had was. I have shots of it that I'm not at liberty to share. So if you have shots from the con that I can share. But yes, that was a surprise.
Yeah, I just think that's cool that Ace is being able to reach out and maybe get a license to do it like officially. That'd be crazy.
And to be clear, because I've heard some the sort of like narrative and frustration with what Ramen Toy does from folks who are like, but they're not licensed. And I just want to name that it's not necessarily for the lack of trying. I know there's been an attempt and a desire to do these. The challenge is that, you know, for some of these older ones, they're either sitting on it and no one's doing anything with it. And so that's where he jumped in. And admittedly, like we know how the law works, how intellectual property, quote unquote, works in the United States. And so someone retains the rights to these things and he is making them without a license, which I know sits on that sketch fence, but he is wanting. Thank you. Okay, he is wanting to get go legit, if you will, and actually get the licenses. And so I don't know. I have thoughts about the strategy of all that, but I'm not at the table, know nothing about it. So all I can do is sort of watch from afar, cross my fingers. I will say, like, these figs that he showed, these Masters of the Universe-esque figures, thank you, Thanos, are right there in that Motu Classics Masterverse sweet spot, right? A little bit taller than a Horseman figure. So that'd essentially be in direct competition with Masterverse. So I can't totally wrap my head around how that all works.
I would love for him to just do head packs. It's like, hey, let us do some head packs for you guys. And like, I think that would be really cool. Because like that wavy hair He-Man head looks freaking great.
But you're thinking alt looks, right? Like looks that wouldn't exist, as opposed to like the Masters of the Verse, which was a direct reply to a shots fired, like, your work sucked, here's ours, kind of a thing. Yeah,
they improved so much on that though. Like that toy, like I got it, opened it, took like one picture of it, put it away. As soon as I got that head in, it's been on my desk like since.
I'm so glad we got a second chance at that, because I forgot to order them, and then they were sold out. And then was just a couple weeks ago.
See if someone at the con can pick you one up, because they have some.
I ordered it now. It went back up. The two heads, not like the origin one, but the other two heads went up, and I picked out the one I wanted. So
cool. There were only 100, I think, of those. So objectively, I agree with you. I would argue that it's objective fact. No offense to the sculptor who worked on it and on the folks who worked on that Dolph Lundgren supposedly head for that figure in Masterverse. But objectively, I think Ace and company, because there are other sculptors, like there are folks behind this that did a much better job capturing Dolph Lundgren's likeness. Absolutely. It's tricky though, right? Because then if you start to move in that territory, it's a straight diss and an almost admission of the fact that you can't service your own line. Now, if you were to do
something else up, there had to be something else up for it to look that bad, though. I mean,
yeah, I mean, there had to be something else to make it look not like Dolph Lundgren. Fair, and I'm gonna say this because I've said it before, but it still needed to look like a decent human being. Like, no offense to that person, sorry, that's messed up, but like, not like it wasn't enticing and like action packed and like it just wasn't.
It just looked weird. Like,
he looked like, what's his name? Thomas.
That was messed up. My bad.
The guy who played Sandman on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans.
Oh, right, from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, that's who the head sculpt looks like to me every time.
Yeah, sorry. Like what I said about decent human beings, my bad. I take that back. Well, I acknowledge my fault, judgy bastard. Yes, but these are, all that said, these are amazing looking. They look like they'd be articulated, just, like Ace knows what they're doing in terms of like figure design, these little display stands, man. This definitely would be like premium figs and premium versions of these characters. If you were to do straight up alt versions, imagined versions, then I get it. But again, you've got New Eternia. So that's where I find, like, where do you find the slot in this? And if you're Mattel, do you go, yeah, sure, we'll give you a license to directly compete with what we've been trying to do? I don't know. But one can hope. These picks are great.
A different scale. This is not really anything in like the 3 3/4 for Masters, other than some old reaction figures.
Absolutely true. I don't know that you could get this detail though. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. But
yeah,
I've seen some good detail in the 3 3/4 scale though.
Yeah, this by no means, this I wouldn't go like, oh yeah, that's He-Man that I know. But it's so to that point, like if they were to do a different look, cool.
Jeff Hardy here.
Yep, and he's got the fly on his fur.
The loincloth stitch is a little odd choice.
I mean, easy in, easy out.
The helm the head on the left, I think is amazing. Like if he sold that, I would buy that.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Folks absolutely love what Ramen's doing, right? And the idea of alt heads, as folks have pointed out here. Let's see. Like Evo Genius, thank you for joining us. I'm looking forward to their alt head for Classified Falcon. Again, I think there's a place for that, right? And I think customizers have tried to do that too, where it's like, oh, I don't like this figure. I want a better one. So I want to make one for myself and then maybe sell them for everybody else. I like that idea. Yep, Nolan's feeling what you're saying too, Thanos. That would be a great idea. Let them do head packs and accessory packs. Sure, this is a premium boutique figures versus mass produced. Yep, and I think that's how they would. That's I think what Ramen is trying to pitch. But again, it's still like in competition, so I don't know how that all works.
They could do it as like a collaboration, like Mattel Creation did with the artists, and do like a Mattel Creation release for them. That might be a good way to do it.
Yep, I think that sits in my mind like what a great idea. Absolutely, I think like a special deal. Yeah, you're right. Good call. Again, folks are feeling the alt heads. Yeah. Oh. See, yeah, I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna say that Jay's gonna be good with it. Let's hear it. But yes, if you are not aware, this is the point where I say, if you're not aware of Geek Dad Life, what is wrong with you? And they do great coverage of all things, and weekly they do a great show that I believe all three of us are regularly hanging out at, along with many folks who are on here right now. They Geek Dad Life released this. Oops, is that full for you? Yeah, that does full for you. Just yesterday, and they did a cool interview, so you should definitely check it out, and I will include it in that links document. But this is just to scrub through and give you a look at all the cool things that are here. You can see, some of the stuff that we've already shown. That Marshall, man, I am all about that Marshall. Having just a really cool sculpt. I love the way that he approached the head, or they approached the head, the team. Really sort of channeling that indigenous character. I'm sure they were looking at models. I really appreciate the facial structure. 3030 or 30, I think is they're calling it. Looks fantastic. Huge, right? Like a ogre scale-ish, to use 4 horsemen language.
These are in between 6 and 7 inch, right?
6.69, I believe, is what it translates to, if I'm remembering when he was dropping the centimeters.
I'm gonna get it either way. I was just,
yeah, dude. Like, I feel like you and him have kindred spirits, man. You've got a vibe, a hairstyle vibe that you both got. Yeah, everything about this looks amazing. The full on, like, all the loadout of all these things, the hat, the alternate head. You can see 3030 or 30's got a ridiculous amount of stuff. Here's those Motu figures, maybe not Motu figures, apparently just prototype. But in the Masters of the Universe world, they're also doing a Battle Bones.
And you actually watched this video, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because the Battle Bones, all the attachments and everything he's talking about, extra pieces of the spine, and then rib cage if you don't want the clamps on there and all that. I was like, oh, man.
Yep. Like, you can turn this into a proper creature or skeleton on your shelf so these are, if those of you are unfamiliar with this vintage toy, it was essentially like a carrying case, right? As well as supposedly a troop transport.
I got it.
Okay. They've got these clips that you would put in the vintage figure in. And so they're recreating that for the 6-7 inch scale. But as Cobb pointed out, you can switch out the vertebrae essentially. And you can have ones that are just without the clips, and you can buy additional. Or is it buy or they're loaded in?
I'm not sure. I think it sounded like he made it seem like it was all together. Yeah.
Okay, so but like potentially
to make it longer too. Yeah.
Yep. So you can make it longer and add more figures essentially to it, and you can kind of see there's this sort of like a weapons rack too that I understand is coming with it.
You turn into a crate dragon.
That's cool.
Here's more of those aces of aviation having nothing to do with Top Gun whatsoever. Great sculpts too. I mean, he's working with good people online. Many of them that you probably would recognize if they would release the names more. I know the artists themselves have sort of like put out their work, so you can kind of track that down. I'll try my best to add that for the replay folks into that doc.
Was Flipboard on display?
I don't believe so.
Not that I've seen, but I did hear Howder talk about keep an eye on.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be. I was wondering.
Yep. And again, if you want to QR, eventually I'll have that document updated. These are shipping. Folks have in hand. They're looking pretty solid. I've been just watching reviews. I was not a Mask fan myself, but I remember the original toys. They weren't the sturdiest. They were Kenner. They're like solid Kenner quality, but these definitely look like they're taking it up a notch in terms of the build.
I've been watching like Adam and Radical Toys. He's getting a lot of the old ones again, so he's probably interested in these.
Yep, this one was an unmade, based on an unmade vehicle. So again, like filling in that spot of being able to give people the opportunity to quote unquote complete a collection of things that weren't made. I get that. And in this case over here of filling in things that weren't made. And I think the rest we saw, but I do want to show this. It was so cool to see. These are all the extras that come with this Ramen Racer. The LEDs, right? So you can get the flaming wheels for the Ghost Rider look, or the extra extreme Fast and the Furious, maybe.
They should do that with more stuff.
You can see the rotating thing. Yeah, I know people would love it. I also know if it were me, that thing would be super cool for like 5 minutes, and then it'd probably go in a box somewhere and never be seen again until company came over and I wanted to show it off, maybe, you know?
Like my Infinity Gauntlet, some already took the batteries out because I'm like, I've played with them enough.
So yeah, that's Ramen Toys. All right, I feel like just the vibe needs to change once I like come through here. So let's talk Action Force real quick. Yeah, this is Valaverse, right? Valaverse and their Action Force. Valaverse definitely took the world by storm again. Continuing the theme of these smaller studios becoming bigger studios in the collector's mind, right? This thing just took the G.I. Joe world and the sort of military collector world by storm, and I think in some ways is trying to branch out a little bit more to more of the like sci-fi tactical world, even ninja stuff. Definitely not my wheelhouse anymore. My brother and I collected G.I. Joes. I read the G.I. Joe comic books, loved it, but I just had to maybe draw in a tighter lane for my current collecting habits. Do either of you do Joe Classifieds or Action Force?
I'm not a big military guy. I played with a lot of Joes when I was young. My cousin had a huge collection. They were a lot of fun. But
yeah, I'm totally out of my element on these. I'm more of the fantasy, everything.
Yeah, same here. And you know, being a fan of these definitely comes with the need to deal with all sorts of reality. But if I may move on,
cool.
Yeah,
no matter where you put them,
their
so funny how that works
exclusive did look cool, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. There's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, to be clear, I think all of their stuff looks amazing, and all the classified stuff. I just to channel highly articulated for a second. I can't collect them all, and I've intentionally not gone down that road because I know people who are. My brother in particular is a classified collector and is dipping into Action Force. So I'm like, cool, I'll come to your house and play. But you know, the resources can only go so far. But I think everything that they've done that I've looked at just looks like super quality, high quality stuff, great sculpts. The designs, like, definitely I think are great. They may not necessarily appeal to my style, I think, but but yeah, I think that they're great, and clearly people love them. Just a couple of shots here. Again, you go from like the sort of ninja flirting with stuff. It's not, I don't think she's an actual ninja. Or maybe she is. But I love that they create more of these sort of like generic figures, if you will, too, sort of unnamed characters as an option. And then I love their line of this wave of female characters, this woman in particular, I love, if you can see my cursor. But it's just really cool shit, but admittedly out of my wheelhouse. I will tell you though that this packaging right here, this retro Joe like Action Force on the left, Desert Rat guy, that definitely, like, there's something about that resonates with my childhood, because I remember seeing those packages like, oh yeah, I know that. But I respect it. I respect the toys. Cool stuff for sure. And again, some of the I know this is again one of those long ass lines at PowerCon. People are like love their Valaverse. So let's see what folks have to say. Hey Scott, you came. Good. Don't worry, or not that you're worried, but we haven't hit Cosmic yet, so, or AWOC, so I know they're gonna be coming. And folks are sharing that, you know, things are hitting that we haven't covered. Absolutely. And, you know, we're running on an hour and a half right now. So, so we're probably not going to cover everything, but I think I'm going to try and jump on a couple different times with other people on my own, just to kind of go back and look at this stuff, just because I want to pretend like I have friends that I can geek out with this stuff. Allison, so good to see you. Happy Saturday. What's going on? We are looking at toys, checking out PowerCon. Thank you for joining us. So anyways, I'm gonna keep looking on these. No, I can't multitask because it covers. So take a look at this car. You all know the story of this car. Yeah, it's a thing that they're a big project of theirs. But again, the conversation that has been out there is like, can we actually do a 112 vehicle, right? We've got the HISS tank coming. I think many ways, the way that Valaverse was pitching it was, you know, pretty critical. I know, pretty critical of how Hasbro does things and what they've done. And so they're to kind of, I guess, respond. This is their, hey, we can do vehicles. It's not a cheap thing though, right? What are we talking? Still about $200? Do you all know?
I have no idea. Honestly, it seems like if they did them the way they did the old Joe toys, it's just some hollow plastic. Like, you can still get fun vehicles for a cheap price. Like, I know this has like effects and add-ons and stuff, but I don't see why they need to be that expensive. Especially when you go to like,
depends on what quality you're
looking for. Faction vehicles that you snap together in like a few minutes, and it's like they look fine, like for what they are.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It's I wonder how many people are willing to say they look fine for what they are versus I want XYZ, right? And so that's the conversation. I can imagine another world where people do try those things and then people pick them apart to hell too. Yeah. But who knows? I think you're right to say there's absolutely a place for it, and I'd love to see somebody try. But I don't think this isn't the cheap $30 toy or the $70 toy.
I'm actually surprised companies haven't just done. It's like, we make vehicles for 112 scale. We make beasts for 112 scale, and it's like not licensed, not anything specific, but just like throw the stuff out there. Because we had companion lines all the time in the 80s, like. You know, just like the Imperial stuff. Like, I still have like some of those old things with the saddles and the chariots, and they were great and they were cheap and they went great with the other toys. So
yeah, I again, I think maybe it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I just feel like maybe there was more money in it, so then people were willing to do that.
Yeah,
I don't know. But again, just the car itself. Is not my cup of tea. It definitely leans into the reality of 2023, right? With some of these like armored vehicles that like literally, I believe this is an armored vehicle that like oligarchs in Eastern Europe and other parts of the world, and maybe even here, can buy and purchase. But just the effects, as you pointed out, like this definitely is some next level 21st century toy collecting stuff. Is anybody in the chat buying these, looking at these, really curious to hear if this is your jam? Admittedly, not my jam. Pains. I collected them till wave 3, then decided the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Are you referring to Action Force? Probably. I don't cover a ton of Vala for all sorts of reasons, but just ultimately, like, it's not my style. But on the news, I do want to kind of cover the stuff that's come out, and I am kind of curious just to sort of see the landscape. So cool figures, great work, great photos by D Amazing once again. But let's go ahead and move on. And I think there's this toy line I heard about that's called Animal Warriors of the something or rather. And so again, we're going to need a little soundtrack change to channel some of that highly articulated monkey business / AWOC talk energy. Spiro Toys, folks. If you're not familiar and you've come to the Brick Something channel for the very first time ever, I talk a lot about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And it's not just because I like to be a shill, although, no, it's not at all that. It's the conversation we were having earlier about Creative Beast Studios. Yeah, no one knows about these things. And that's exactly how I felt about AWOC when I first saw them. And I kept thinking, like, why aren't people talking about this thing? That is purely the drive of my like constant AWOC talk. Is like, I definitely think it's something that more people should be talking about. I know I watch a lot of toytuber channels, and they'll cover them, but it's not. And then they'll always kind of go back to some of the other things that, frankly, I'm pretty sure we've all heard of, like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Master of the Universe. That's not a diss, right? Those are important. I love to kind of like highlight indie artists, designers, underdogs, if you will, but also like really good shit. And I think AWOC is a good shit. Yeah. So on that note, oops, that was weird. Let me go ahead and share a little bit of a greeting from the folks at Spiro. Check this out.
All right, guys, welcome to PowerCon 2023. We're at the Spiro booth. We have waves 1 and 2 available for sale. We also have a very limited quantity of PowerCon exclusive that will be sold out within the hour. We're already sold out of a couple of products, but don't worry, you can get that on the website. We are showing off samples of wave 4 as well as wave 3. We have wave 3 kind of sprinkled in this other dio, but we also have 2 brand new reveals of King Hannibal and our Gladiator Lizard figure. So these are both debuting this one actually debuted in Joe Fest, but this is a brand new reveal for PowerCon. And then we got all of our wave 2 stuff. Again, very limited quantities of this. We have our headsets that we've been offering. Armor sets are debuting. There's a very, very limited quantity of these armor sets. It's actually part of wave 3. Anyone that's not at the convention, you'll have to wait till September, but they'll be here before you know it. So mid-September, we're going to be getting wave 3 in. If you want to pre-order it now, because there's going to be a lot of, we're getting a lot of orders. So if you don't want to wait in line too much, go ahead and do that pre-order now. We got our weapon sets and everything. And then we're handing out these little flyers. The front has wave 4 on it, or I should say the back has wave 4 with a little QR code. The back has wave 3. And we are ready to roll. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thank you so much for checking out our booth.
Yeah, thank you so much to Kato, who you see there at the end, and Jason Bienvenu of Spiro Toys for shooting that video and sending it my way. I did try to reach out to some folks, some friends of the channel, to kind of like, hey, can you tell us how things are going out there? And so they were able to put that together, which is awesome. You got a sense of the table, what's going on. Jason referenced the website, spirotoys.com. I love his attempt to do the sell. Don't wait in line. Go online now. But truth be told, price-wise, they're pretty much like, there's not like a huge markup or anything going on between, say, the con and the site. He mentioned wave 1, wave 2, which have been around. Wave 3 includes, these sort of like more army builder waves and some armor, which is great. And then there's a bunch of new stuff coming that they're teasing. They're teasing figures there right now that aren't even on the website yet. This is from a much later wave. This is King Hannibal. Yep, father of Atreyu. This is definitely brick something. Resonates with brick something, man, including the bricks in the back. I don't know, man. This is everything to me. What I heard you guys say is great. What anything else? Thought?
I'm gonna have to be back in 1 sec.
Yeah.
Quick minute.
I'll definitely be picking him up.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked a better look at the lizard guy. Kind of hard to see him on the video.
Yeah, I will add it to the thing. I don't know if I can necessarily want to scramble at the moment. Well, unless but obviously this is a prototype, folks. The articulation isn't there. Nothing here in the knees. But just to sort of get a sense of what the figure is going to look like, the sculpt, what it looks like, what the paint might look like. But this is a whole new buck. This is not the same big body as Thane. This is not the same bodies as Pale, Atreyu, etc. This is just opening up more possibilities for toys, AWOC toys moving forward. So yeah, and same goes for that lizard that you're mentioning. God, I wish I had it. But let's see what else is here. Actually, I think there might be some things. No, maybe not.
AWOC Village confirmed.
Yes, AWOC Village confirmed. This was a custom. The other thing about PowerCon that unfortunately I'm not going to be able to cover too much today is the presence of like not just the indie toy companies, but the fans, the customizers, the sort of cottage industry that has evolved around modern toy collecting, of people making things to either sell or just show. This is N.E.W.S creation. So, I've been following his stuff since seeing his like PowerCon stuff last year, and I think even earlier than that, but he particularly did this amazing Masters of the Universe tribute via Mythic Legions figures last year. And so this year he made a custom dio, an AWOC village, a Chunari village, I think, for the display at Spiro's table. And I think that's awesome. It's a great way to display the figures. And what you're seeing here are, yes, some of them are figures that you can buy. This is a figure that you can buy in wave 3, but with one of the alt heads, which looks amazing. It's one of those things where you're like,
Pale had the King Grayskull
armor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Armor and cape. Yep. Again, showing. And they've been doing this since the beginning, before the figures were even released, just showing that like the compatibility, right, of the compatibility of different toy lines. I don't know if my headphones went out, but yeah. And so cool stuff. You got this like poor guy hanging out. Man, yeah, I wish I was there, but
is that AWOC village?
Yeah, dude,
that's San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's the AWOC village right there. And another shot of, hey, look at
AWOC, not Ewok,
don't say anything weird, Adam. Yeah, this is Jason on the right, sorry, and then Kato on the left. Kato, who along with Inu Chabi handles the sort of official AWOC Facebook group and the AWOC podcast, who sent us that video earlier. So thank you, Kato. He's actually working the booth with Jason. They're doing their thing. So yeah, sounds like we lost the music. Let us shift a little. We're about to enter Horseman territory. But before we do that, I would really love to sort of just check in with some of the folks that have been at the con and have been kind enough to sort of like share some messages. So let me start off with John Emerald Knight, who sent us this.
John.
Hey guys, welcome from my hotel room at PowerCon. I wish you guys could be here. Man, it's you know, just in one day so far, it's been super amazing. It's been my first time coming here, and first time in a long time since I've been to an actual convention. And mostly just I've been to toy conventions, but never something like this kind of immersive with a lot of panels and you know, just you know, celebrities per se, but you know, being able to meet a lot of toy tubers, a lot of the people that I've done toy photography with. It's just been so cool and amazing, and everybody's been so nice and so gracious and supportive. Hanging out with Oz and everyone from, you know, that can make the trip here. Mega J is supposed to be here today. Real excited for that. I can't wait to see his reaction when he sees all the awesomeness that's at the convention. Same with you, Brick and Thanos and anybody else watching. It's just it's awesome, man. It's just I love it. Words can't really. It's hard for words to even describe it, but it's just it's been a real cool experience, and I'm definitely going to try and make this a yearly type of deal and come you know, next year as well. Today's day 2. Yesterday I got a couple good things. Brick, I mean, I know we kind of talked about this a little bit, but here is a you know, the one of the Elfin Knights that I was able to pick up for you know, at the Mythic Legions table. I didn't get the exclusive 2-pack yet. I'm going back this morning. Hopefully I can get early in line and pick up the 2-pack that is Scourge, and I can't remember the other one's name, but it's basically the Manny Faces Whiplash homages from
Yes.
Also, Brick, I think you'll like this. I got my first AWOC figure from Hella Dope Toys. I mean, it's just I've been kind of like, you know, waiting to pull the trigger on them, and you know, getting Kali, that was like that's a must get, and it was so cool to kind of do it with the Hello Dope guys there. I was like, we took a picture of it, awesome, you know, just, you know, showing my support for both, you know, the figures and the retail as well. And then the PowerCon exclusive, Demetros. This guy is so freaking cool looking. Can't wait to start taking photos of him when I get back.
Those photos are gonna be dope.
And another Cosmic Siri. I've seen a lot of people on Instagram take photos of her, and she just looks so cool. I mean, just so awesome, and just, I mean, again, I missed when I got there. When me and Oz got to the table, they had already sold out of the 2-pack. But again, we're gonna go back today, try and get in there in line, and try and get you know, snag us some. But overall, I've been having a really great time, and just can't wait to you know, go back. And I leave Sunday, so hopefully I get to you know, see some more cool things. Definitely don't want to miss the Mondo panel on Sunday. I was there at their booth yesterday talking with Hector, you know, one of the designers, and he said there's gonna be some new reveals Sunday, and a pretty big one that he said Motu fans will really enjoy. So we definitely want to look out and see that tomorrow. But yeah, everyone just take care of themselves, be safe, you know, geek proud, good journey, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Love it.
That's cool.
So that's fantastic. Thank you so much, John Mejia Emerald Knight, who actually did some pickups for me, and he mentioned he's looking for these exclusives. Yep, so if you're unfamiliar, first off, this comes courtesy of Jared Toy Bro. Love Jared and his awesome reviews. Like, one of my go-to reviewers, and just a cool dude to kind of chat with on different Discords. Yeah, these homage figures is really kind of like was synonymous with PowerCon for the longest time, right? Four Horsemen would do these specifically for PowerCon. They'd kind of create these figures within their toy line that were like not really meant to be canon to their world, but you know, they've had history with the brand. And so this is Whiplash and Man-E-Faces. So these, I keep saying Mythic Legions, but for those in the know, I'm actually not going to cover a whole lot of Mythic Legions today, because this show, PowerCon, was all about Cosmic Legions, man, in a big way, including the exclusives that we have here. Either of you grab these? These are not, sorry, they're not true exclusives, right? These are available to pretty much everyone, but they're there at the con right now. Did either of you pre-order these or pick these up, or no?
No.
I actually haven't gotten any Cosmic Legions. I had a couple pre-ordered through Big Bad, but I canceled the pre-orders. Although I won a science officer from Curtis on Offworld last night, and he already shipped it out. So,
Aaron, real quick, is saying the chat vanished. Is that true? Because I'm seeing you, but so Pains is only going to get a couple of the Wave 4 from Cosmics. Yeah, you know, Thanos and I were talking before, and I definitely have that initial I'm all in, and usually that's not necessarily because I like every single figure. It's usually because there's maybe just a few that I wouldn't normally get that I might either keep or sell, and that's worked out for me in the past because the price it's kind of like the best price. But you know, I don't know. I feel like it's doing some amazing stuff, and I think what we're about to see, I don't know. What Cobb, you're saying you haven't seen everything. I'd like to get your reaction. Are you much of a sci-fi guy, Cobb?
Somewhat,
genre-wise.
Yeah, like it's more fantasies, but yeah, I enjoy everything really. I'm here and there. These look amazing right here. I didn't see these at all. I like that Man-E-Face one. That's pretty cool, man. I wouldn't even have thought Whiplash right away. It just looks like a badass character. But yeah, now I see the Whiplash here. Yeah, those both look awesome.
Yeah, and there's the Man-E-Faces has like alt heads as
that's what I was wondering. I was like, he probably has.
The story with these is that they were actually available and are available as to be ordered from the the green gate Whiplash, because there's a blue version in Mythic Legion. I really can't buy everything I already am. So that said, Four Horsemen. I know, to me, like Four Horsemen in terms of sculpt and deco is, and the play feature of Pop and Swap is still like just holds this prime spot in my toy collecting brain, which is why I and Oz and Eldor and Sean and Jesse and oftentimes Curtis are doing Legions class together. And oddly, even though this is like one of probably the largest attractions at PowerCon with the longest lines, it's still not something that's necessarily in the broader consciousness of most collectors, I would say. I think people write it off for some reason, and I think some people just haven't paid attention. So that's also my interest in kind of covering them. Not that they need it, really, I know, but they are at the con, and they revealed this wave that you're seeing right here. It's a wave of Cosmic Legions figures called Ox Crew. There's a whole backstory that I don't feel the need to go into at the moment. But I just focus on the figure designs. And right away, if you take a look at all of these characters, what resonates with me is like, dude, I'm not seeing any humans. And that was like a decided choice of theirs so far. And I know a lot of fans are like, man, where are the humans? Where are the humans? And yeah, you could pop on human heads. But I appreciate that they are just like, nah, this is a world of non-humans. Get used to feeling different from your toys. Get used to maybe not feeling totally like you're the center of these toys. Enjoy some true fantasy, some true imagination, maybe some empathy and all that kind of stuff. Come into another world. I don't know. Right off the bat, just looking at all of them side to side, what are your thoughts?
Like, this sucks. I told you earlier, but Uka, the guy with the scrap stick and the eyes, and the creature were the two that I was like, these guys are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
they are. That one you just mentioned, yeah, he's got that kind of savage look to him, alien, like a savage jungle tribe look to him. He's pretty cool looking. I like this dude on the far right with the robot in the trench coat.
Yep.
See, I don't know any of these by name or anything, but that's a cool design too. I like that.
I collect mythic legions and slowly we'll get some cosmic legions. And actually, I say slowly, but they're chilling in this box right here, actually. But I'll be damned. I do legions class, but it's not. I don't know their names, man.
Their names are hard. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how they come up with some of them.
And I appreciate that too. Again, it's a whole world, right? Like, let's get away from this reality, and so I dig it. I dig it. Anyway, I asked that because one, I want to hear like responses, and I know it's not for everyone. I know Mythic Legions collectors and Four Horsemen diehards who are like, nah, I'm good on Cosmic Legions, right? Some of them might be in the chat right now, and they're real clear, like, nah, this isn't for me. It's not my thing. Totally get it. What I find interesting, both in Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions, is that they kind of are these two pillars, right, of nerdy genre stuff: fantasy, your Tolkien, etc., and sci-fi, your Asimov, etc., right? And so, but within those big umbrellas, we've had decades of exploration of what these worlds can be. And the Four Horsemen, being roughly our age, I think, we're steeped in it just like you and I. And so now this is them creating a world, but reflecting back like all that stuff that they've been influenced by and spitting it out with their own creativity. Not unlike these same like heady philosophical conversations Adam and Highly Articulated and I have had about AWOC, right? Yes, it's very much like, oh, it reminds me of Planet of the Apes and Thundercats, but it's not. To me, this totally reminds me of Micronauts, of a lot of Asimov Foundation stuff, at least as illustrated, Dune, Star Wars, right? All of these things, but new in its own way. And so I know for some people, they're like, nah, I don't get it. I've seen this before. I don't care. Or I don't have a nostalgic connection. So meh. Then I'll say, but look, you'll find something. So when I'm hearing you guys, because I know you're like, I'm not sci-fi, but who did you gravitate to? The ones that look the most Motu-esque, right? Yeah, that creature could fit on Eternia.
Yeah, it could be just like some random creature. Yep. That's why I like it, though. I like the possibility, too. Like, if they keep pumping out creatures, that's like one wave. I'd probably get it every wave, right?
They did it with the horses over in Mythic Legions, and this is them saying, yeah, we're gonna do some stuff, and not all gonna be bipedal, upright humanoid figures. We're gonna be doing some stuff, and we'll take a look a little bit more, and you'll see some surprises. But yeah, I get Star Wars vibes, I get Micronauts vibes, as I said, I get freaking Toy Story, what's his name, To Infinity and Beyond vibes.
Yeah, that's first thing I thought.
I was thinking StarCraft with those
yes,
suits, like the Marines and stuff.
Yep, absolutely. StarCraft, Blizzard, same thing, right? They started with Warcraft, very much the fantasy thing, and that's what Four Horsemen did with Mythic Legions. Then they moved into StarCraft, very much the sci-fi Warhammer kind of thing. Now we have Cosmic Legions, and I love it. And I love that they're not sticking to a particular thing. Like if you saw the first couple of figures of Cosmic, then you moved into Wave 2, they're exploring it all and putting it together. So you do get your Warhammer type vibes, but you also get your John Carter from Mars vibes, right? You get it all. All right, let's take a look. Let's start at their Instagram. Hang on to your butts because we are going to hang out here for a while. If you're not interested, I don't know, get interested. So here are some of the creatures. I'm sorry, that was messed up. Some of the figures, as I was focused on this guy, unlike you, Thanos. Again, the name of this wave is Ox Crew Book 1 Thraxen. There is a storyline going on, just enough for you to latch on and be interested. Any Star Wars fans, there's a lot in here for you. I'll get to that later. This was the first figure that they showed. And this all happened in a panel at PowerCon last night, and I was watching it live here on YouTube. And I pretty much had the same experience I had when I was watching the N.E.W.S wave, where I was like, my kids were wondering what I'm yelling about, what I'm, laughing about. They're like, nerd. But this one, I will admit, like, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I wasn't like bowled over. It's like, wow, that's cool. A new alien. I see the parts use from other figs prior, particularly in Cosmic Legions. The main character has that same sort of torso and arms.
This guy could be fantasy or sci-fi. Like,
Yep.
Either way.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday, and what he reminded me of was from like the Revelations cartoon, Merman's little henchman.
Oh, yeah.
I call them his guppies, but yeah, it's too like when they're on the ship, have like the same kind of head and everything. Just totally remind me of them at first.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And it's, to me, again, John Carter of Mars, right? Those like that kind of vibe, which, Motu is very much embraced, right? And I think in trying to, like, there's conversations about Motu maybe being kind of a based on either, I guess, and or a Conan the Barbarian line that so I'm so tired. A Conan the Barbarian line that Mattel was working on, but also a New Gods line, right? Kirby stuff with DC. And you see that here. It's that mishmash of both science and fantasy, science fiction and fantasy. Then you get to here and people are like, yeah, no, that's hardcore sci-fi. It is a hardcore sci-fi, but look at the person inside that suit. And there's definitely some fantasy elements going on too. The big news about this for Mythic Legions fans and maybe Lego fans like me and customizers is that this face right here, you can swap out. And there are Mythic Legions figures that are fully compatible and you can put their faces in, which is opening a whole new world for customizers and the sort of third-party cottage industry I was referring to earlier of people who make parts. You could make humans if you wanted to. You could make people that look like you, like selfie series on steroids. Selfie series done right, in my opinion. Same here. At first, I wasn't really feeling the color differences because in my head, I'm like thinking team, and I was like, wow, how limiting that is of your brain. But it's grown on me. And again, it hits me with that Micronauts vibe. Were either of you into Micronauts?
I think it was slightly before my time.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
She and Tom.
Cool. So you're saying I'm old? No.
You're a couple years older than me. Not by much, though.
Thanos said it.
No. It's cool. I have an older brother, 5 years older, and then I had an uncle who was much younger than my brother, not too far from us, who was, it was the 70s. There were definitely substances involved, and he'd zone out to like sci-fi stuff, Pink Floyd, and like, check out Micronauts, check out this comic book. So, and we inherited toys from them, and the whole multicolored character vibe. That's what resonates with me, the Micronauts thing. Same here.
I like the purple suit though. Like out of all the suits, that's the one that I like the most.
I lean to the orange and the purple.
Like it's really interesting. They have like all the different stuff that they can plug in, keep the weapons on them, or the little projector things. Like,
yep. All this stuff pops out right here. You can throw in the weapons. They come with the weapons have ports on them. If you can see my cursor moving, and they come with these transparent little plugs, so you can kind of like store them on their bodies as holsters, etc. There's all sorts of cool things happening with this line. That again, the Four Horsemen built in. That then allows for this sort of cottage industry of custom companies to make parts for, and customizers to make their own parts for. So cool stuff. I like the purple as well because it's a different color. It's the blue that just feels a little. It's cool, but it's pretty standard, right? It's almost like give me the blue guys, give me the red guys, make them fight. Colors. So, yeah, I feel like, but I'm into it. It's grown on me. I like that it wasn't standard. Like part of my brain was like, oh, just give us like maybe basic whites, grays, and like I realized how basic that was.
You could always get multiples and put different heads on them if you want, like a blue crew or whatever.
Yep. If you have the money, you absolutely could. Again, but the variety here, right? They have people in their crew, and then they're not all the same body. Like, actually, both of these are not the same body. Check out the arms.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different stuff going on. I also get Walt Simonson, or Simonson. I never knew how to pronounce that. Apocalypse vibes, right?
Oh yeah.
For the X heads in the house.
You have such a unique style to their suits, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Between like you just look at like the feet and everything. How
Yep, mech-ish almost. And then they were like, yeah, like those are cool, but like not everybody has the same body type. What if we had a big-headed alien with a giant torso? Just a variety. Sometimes science fiction gets so stale, particularly like, I don't know, of a particular era of, say, like Star Trek, right? Like we kind of knew all the aliens were going to look like dudes in makeup or people in makeup. And this, like the varying body size, this to me, that was the stuff that Jim Henson and the folks that worked on Star Wars did in the 80s to give us like a variety of these fantasy world creatures that I couldn't see walking down the street. That's what I've been craving, and I love that they're doing that with this line. They also are like, they showed this, and I was like, oh, you know, that's cool. I wasn't really thinking much of it because I wasn't thinking scale, and it wouldn't. I guess it could work on my shelf, but aside from it resonated with me or not, like the detail and the quality of these things, curious how much you all would spend on something like this, a kit like this. Do you think folks would be selling for?
I honestly don't know. I wouldn't pay too much for it, but then again, like it's like sci-fi isn't my main thing, but
yeah,
they're nice props to have, like as someone who takes like a lot of pictures. So
I believe they're 24.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay,
it's not too bad.
Right.
Like really, because I mean,
I thought it was a good price.
Cost,
but...
Like props do cost like a decent
exactly.
amount.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people put stuff up on Etsy for like way more than 24, right?
I got these things. It was like $7 for like 5 brand props. Like, so, and they're like basic.
Sure.
So I guess it's not too bad.
Look at the painting on that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the scale, and I think there are going to be more photos later that are going to show the scale. They're not actually as small as I thought in my head.
You said there was a price on those, or are you just trying to guess? You said there was a price on those, or you're trying to guess a price?
Yeah. They're 24. Like here, let's go to the website real quick. I believe 25.
Okay. So I was going to say
25.
30 at the most. So
yep. Sorry, I forgot to wait for your answer. Bad host.
No, I was off to the side anyways. I've already hit my 24 hours a week period. So
oh shoot! If you need to go, like please. Yeah.
All I had to do is use the restroom from all my coffee. Drinking it. Oh, I can't show this because we have people in the chat, but you know what soda.
Oh yeah. All right.
It's censored for the chat.
Here we have an awesome alien. What is this thing called? There is a species, Veblian, I want to say. You see the Veblian name? Uka.
Yeah.
God, I went straight, of course, like very Star Wars-esque, very John Carter of Mars. Very organic and like squishy almost. Like he's got muscles, but I feel like if I touch him, it's going to be squishy. Like I love the implied texture and just the paint on these things. I don't know. Again, to me, it's like gold standard when it comes to paint and design. I know folks have issues with articulation. I don't think that's their strongest point at all. I think it's really about aesthetics, character design, sculpt, and execution of paint.
And the modularity. I think that's big things.
Yep. Again, the modularity, the pop and swap, which again hugs my Lego and Micronauts vibes from back in the day. You look at this tool, and I forget who was saying it, but they're like, it was inspired by like, you know, the gardening work, the pruner. I have one of those. Such a cool thing, and we'll look a little bit more at them, but we should probably move on. Here's the one I know is resonating.
That's my favorite of the line. The other guy was my second favorite of the line, but that's my favorite.
Yeah. This is a cool cool creature. It's almost like got the rock-like. Adam and I on AWOC Talk, we're talking about like some of the creatures in there. Like this is that. This is the non-Earth, presumably like fauna, right? Animals that populate the world. And it's so cool just thinking about the biology of this thing. Again, to go back to the realistic dinosaurs, like what is this purple rock and why does it have all these horns? And I love it. And the last one is this. They've been calling it the Stranger. Love the helmet. If you're an uber Star Wars geek like I am and aren't too mad at Kathleen Kennedy for reasons, or just mad at the line or Disney ruining your childhood, you might have been following the novels, which I have. And there's this whole other part of the timeline called High Republic. And this gives me strong Marchion Rowe, is that his name? Vibes. And the big question even in that series was, what does he look like under the helmet? And I heard you refer to this as dude, yeah? So those are all good questions, and let's check it out. And I should move along. Oh, not necessarily in this order, but of course the photographer extraordinaire for the Four Horsemen. I do want to highlight, this is again 1/6 shooter, Trevor Williams, great YouTuber as well. Let's just look at his character shots, because it's one thing to look at the figures in the Stark background to kind of look at the details and all that. But damn,
he just really brings them to life.
Damn,
he's so talented.
Yeah. Soft Goods again by C. Jessam, the team up in Pinoy. Kasama's up in Canada doing some dope stuff with soft goods, just super well tailored, well constructed. You've got wires in these, and I say C. Jessam all the time because they're designing it. But what we have to remember, which blows my mind around Four Horsemen, is yeah, they have talented people like the Horsemen themselves sculpting, or they're talented painters, or their team C. Jessam doing the soft goods. But then they hand that off to like a factory, and yet they can still like come back with just the amazing quality. And that's where I struggle with, like, how is that possible when, yeah. So, cause I just see what other companies do, but this is cool. I want to hear, I'm going to have to check in with Trevor about like, what is going on with this background? Who made it? What's the story?
Yeah, that's really cool.
There you go. There's the reveal. Not a dude, actually, but uses she, her pronouns. Dope. Like, look at that head. What is this character? What is this species? I want to go to this world. I haven't checked in with the chat, Stars or Scott Baker. Actually, I don't know if Star was here today. Just trying to see what folks have to say. I should. Mm-hmm.
Translucent hair. Here it looks like the hair is translucent on it.
I don't believe so, but that would be dope. Maybe.
At least right here in the front it does. I mean, it's just shiny. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of look translucent.
It's amazing. Highly articulated. It's like, I already know he's not super into cosmic yet, or at all. But yeah, looking at the gear for AWOC, great stuff, right? I don't know what we were responding to, but Andor is the shoe. Definitely Warhammer 40K throughout the Cosmic Legion stuff, especially the armors, right? I'm assuming. Aaron, yeah, I do like the spacesuits. They look great, and colors are chef's kiss. Yeah, I'll admit that to some of them it wasn't my thing, but I've definitely grown on them, and I accept them and love them more than accept them. That Orvar is my favorite of the waves. Scott Baker with his new thumbnail. Definitely Kirby-esque. Yeah, I was kind of trash talking. I took a little shot at a certain era of Trek where all the aliens were humanoid and looked the same, but we've moved past that given budgets. This dude, who's this guy? Yeah, we played the. Mm-hmm. It's a good price for what you get, probably for that dio or those little pieces. I agree, especially the quality again. Yeah. Folks are going to get them for research purposes. Yesterday on Payne's stream, I kept telling him, man, because it was going on at the same time as the reveals were. And I know he's trying to like curb his spending, and I was trying to be that
hard.
bad voice in his brain. So let's see what's going on. What else? Slug Alien looks cool. That's a space Naginata if I've ever seen one. Naginata. Oh, the tool? If I'm
Yeah, it's
knowing
like
what
the
you're talking
spear.
about. Yeah. Absolutely. But it's actually just for pruning your orange tree, your space oranges and the branches. Too weird for me on my shelf? Yeah, embrace the
I think he was
weird. No,
talking
I know what you mean.
specifically about this one with all the stuff on it.
This one earlier with the gear?
That one, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
this is definitely going to be a little bit of a departure, but to me, this is
The amount of stuff this one comes with, like, is worth getting just to part it out to other toys.
I agree, and I definitely agree with Allison Troy. Yeah, I stand with. No, I absolutely love Kathleen Kennedy's work. I think we like to blame people inaccurately, but whatever. That's my sense. I'm buying this figure for the soft goods alone because, yeah, absolutely, they are quality. They are super cool. Same species as Sligo. Funny you say that because, and again, Adam, don't say anything weird because your messages are going to pop up, and all these guys are going to pop up. Yeah, this is a character that came out before. I call him Ensabanur, Apocalypse. But yeah, same species. So they're definitely building out a world, thinking about like who lives in this world, all the different species. Four Horsemen have always been good about sort of diversity within their realm of like, whether it's like human diversity, different skin tones, shapes, etc., or just like different species, right? I love it. Man, this figure to me looks so good. Anyway, let's see what else. I mean, Trevor's got so much going on. Let's just take some quick glances at these, at least the environmental shots. Oh, look at that set. Maybe Crashbox? I don't know. Some next level custom stuff for a photographer who they know is gonna make their sets shine. Come on, man. If you're even just like, I loved, I don't know, what was it? Mars Attacks. Or I feel like they create these things that could appeal to many people if they just saw these things. And again, I don't care what folks say. They say, don't go there. You'll go, it's a rabbit hole. It's expensive. Like, really, if you see one character that you're into, consider buying it. And yes, you can actually stop. We are actually capable of it.
I don't think that Legions is an all-in line. I know some people do that.
I don't think any
the variety of it lends itself to picking and choosing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it's a correct opinion. No, yes, and I haven't shown all this stuff, but like that's why I'm going to give you the links to do some exploring yourself. We call it project-based learning, folks. Over here, we've got Uka, like meeting the crew when they crash land. Again, I can't help but think Star Wars. It's very Star Wars-esque. And again, that has its roots in even Barlow, in John Carter.
I love
very
this.
Cool.
He looks like somebody you'd just like run into on a planet. Like, hey, almost like a Jawa type role.
Or in the cantina.
Yeah. Hang out in the cantina, hang out on the Jawas out in the desert or in a.
But like all the stuff hanging from his belt. And,
that pose they got him in is perfect too.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Someone said on the stream, he looks like he would steal your microwave. I don't know if that's a reference, folks, now, but yeah. We saw that, the goggles, right? Look at those goggles. I'm a sucker for goggles. I don't yet do the steampunk thing, but if I did, I'd be wearing goggles all day. Cool accessories, cool hands. You know, that's, again, not the kind of thing I normally do. So if you're looking for me to run you through all of those, there are people who do it better. I know my lane, which is just look at the stuff and geek out. Man, So that's the scale of them. Again, in my head, for whatever reason, I wasn't really wrapping my head around how they would sit next to it. I know that might not sell you on the thing, but it's cool. It's some cool stuff. I don't know. It's like, this reminds me of like a generator. But like, so again, it's very Star Wars in that way, right? Stuff that we know, kind of like that tool that we were talking about for trimming the branches or whatever. Familiar with that sort of sci-fi twist, and there's like, it's well worn. They're very much following the same book as Lucas did. That's how I like to phrase it. Don't give people too much credit. Yeah, it's a well-worn universe. There's that stuff.
Doing that little computer. I'm pointing.
I'm assuming
you can see, yeah, right there.
Yep, and it goes into this case. This goes into this case. You can put your Thundrillium in there. You can put your weed in it. Like, you can put all sorts of stuff away. Space weed, as someone said on the stream. Okay, we gotta move. I know I could be here all day with cosmics, but again, I'm just gonna show each character in their environments because Trevor.
I love the flashlight on that picture. It's kind of like brightening towards the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Skills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, check out 1/6 shooter stuff. Again, if you're not familiar, I can't wrap my head around how you might not be familiar, but I actually know that most people don't pay attention to photography in the same way. But like, these folks make your figures, including folks like Thanos here, like, you know, they make these figures look good and like they bring them to life. So Trevor's definitely, like, he's working on these. He's working on AWOC. I didn't shout him out earlier when we were looking at the Spiro website, but a lot of those photos are his. And it's work, right, Thanos?
Yeah. I like Trevor's on Maz's toy box, and like I'll submit to those guys and like put a basic picture, they'll rip it apart, and I'm like, okay. And then I go back and retake the picture, and I'm like pretty pleased with it, and they rip it apart again, but it's fun. I'm actually learned a lot for those guys.
So I actually went to, in college, I double majored, and one of them was in art, and that was like my favorite part, was showing your stuff, and it's the critique, right? And hearing from other folks. And if you are at a point in life where you can hear that, step away, like you did, take in some of their ideas and work it in, and you realize like, oh yeah, like that's what it's about, man. Yeah. There's this character again. I think this figure again helps me in a dangerous way be more excited about the figure, because when I first saw him I was like, oh, but then they put in this environment, it comes to life, and I'm like, oh no, I think I do want that. Look at this accessory too. What creature did that come off of? And I wonder, I didn't look closely, but I wonder if that actually matches up with the biology of that one creature.
Oh, it could, yeah. It's got the spikes.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think before I get to the fire and ice of it all, and thank you all for hanging out. I know this is going long, but like, we're geeking out, and there's Adam again trying to send weird messages. No, this is from earlier. Real quick, before I jump into this, let's hear from some folks again who were there. Hedgehog, Jonathan, Hedgehog Action, his channel is there and sent this.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I am Jonathan, aka Hedgehog Action, and I'm at PowerCon 2023. Today is the day 2 of PowerCon, and I'm here to give you my top 3 things to see at PowerCon 2023. Let's go. First up, number 3, we have the Eamon O'Donoghue booth with the brand new Frazetta Girls Dark Wolf figure. Next up, on one of the best things to see at PowerCon is the Frazetta Girls Dark Wolf figure, and we've got with us today the designer of this amazing figure, the venerable Eamon O'Donoghue.
Hello!
And the man, the myth, the legend, 1/6 shooter who did incredible photography, which is actually featured on this packaging we're seeing for the first time.
So this is our packaging, lovely packaging here. It's going to be a little bit narrower, on thicker stock. So we got Trevor's amazing photography on here, which just really helps sell the figure. Everything in the back here, we got all the credits down there. Everyone gets credit in our world. You know, top, back, side. and we got a nice little window that opens up here.
And there you see
The figure. Absolutely, we got an amazing shot there from Trevor on that one. There, where he says it's the Wrath.
Day of Wrath.
Day of Wrath. That's it. My brain went black there. Day of Wrath. Famous thing. A great scene from the animation, of course.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty
Not
close.
perfect.
Exactly. There you go.
Very cool.
There you go. And we got our Dark Wolf figure here, ready to go. It's pretty much final sample. A few little things we got to iron out in this one still, but it's pretty much ready to go. All the articulation is there, but the main people are going to be talking about is why no bicep swivel. There's no bicep swivel because he's got a deltoid swivel. So you can swivel that deltoid right in.
You get that motion at the top.
You get that motion at the top still and stuff like that. So there you go. Interchangeable face plates, so you can pop out the face plates.
Killer.
So you can little pop those in there, pop those in and out. And you get all the hands that go in and out, hands that go up and down as well. Fully pliable plastic so he can sit in a horse. That's a hint. And yeah, ready to go. Ready to go. It comes bow and arrow, 3 arrows. He's ready to take down a whole bunch of subhumans. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much for giving us a look at this. So many people are talking about this. I'm excited. Presenter Girls, Dark Wolf, Eamon O'Donoghue, 1/6 Shooter. Thank you, guys. All right, so the number 2 thing to see at PowerCon, according to me, the Super 7 Ultimates Thundercats Cat Slayer.
All right. So yeah, I appreciate it. Jonathan sent us that one, and real quick, yeah, Allison. It says he and his Hedgehog Jonathan and his friends have a fun podcast live stream for anyone not familiar. Highly recommended. They're a pleasant group to hang out with. Yep, that's probably right. Oh, actually, I don't think he's doing it from PowerCon, or maybe he is. Saturday Day Live, right? And on Facebook and YouTube. Awesome crew. He covers a lot of stuff that I'm like into as well. So we vibe on just like the sheer variety of toys, and he loves to sort of explore different lines for research purchases, pains. Yeah, great stuff. He also, I want to share, let's see, one other thing. I love being able to see folks on the floor. Here's the cat
Back.
side.
It's absolutely massive, guys. All the rumors are true.
Oh, Mega J. You shut up. Are you ready, Thanos?
It's bigger than I could have imagined. It's gorgeous.
I don't know
it's
what
glorious.
I'm going to do with it, but I'm ready for
My
it.
number 2 thing to see at PowerCon 2023 so far, Thundercats Cat Slayer.
Silver K, I'm waiting. The man just said it's bigger than I thought, but okay.
And then my number 1 thing to see at PowerCon 2023 so far are the displays over at the Four Horsemen Studios booth. You get a lot of looks here of upcoming figures, including one of the Legions Con 2023 exclusives, Vorgus 2. We've got figures from the Poxus wave, including Poxus himself, and a bunch of crazy figures on a display that I believe was present at Legions Con 2022 last year. Four Horsemen Studios again have their giant orc creation here at the con, and more displays over here. This time, all kinds of cosmic legions. We have figures from the newly released Wave 1 Volcatar Book 1. Also, unreleased figures from Grave Knight here. Canox Vol there. We even have a sneak peek at the other Legions Con 2023 exclusive wall tour. Just incredible. And the displays keep going around the other side with some science officers. Then we have the new tribute figures, Scourge and Operative 83. And of course the bugs. Nope, you're okay. I'm moving out of the way.
Yay, kids.
And lastly, but not least, the coup de grace. Last night, we got the reveal of the newest Cosmic Legions wave. And here is a display created by Four Horsemen Studios with all of the figures. There's going to be an incredible accessory set that's going to come with it. Absolutely incredible. First ever Cosmic Legions creature in the wave. And that's what I call the number 1.
Yeah. So thanks to Jonathan for that stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Like, because we got to see the display that we weren't necessarily seeing. Reactions, thoughts.
I'd love to be able to walk around that, like
Mhm.
actually there with like being able to look at like all the different angles. While he's going through it, I'm looking and like, how did they build this? Like, what's going into that? Really cool.
Yeah, I've never been to a con at all, so
Okay.
go and check it out. Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. Maybe next year. Maybe we look for those deals for some tickets to Columbus, Ohio.
Parkland. Like, well, San Diego Comic Con. I got my family member. He's gone every year. I've just never gone with him. And this last year was the first year he didn't go. So next year, I'm sure I'll be there.
Yeah, dude, you should. I've been to a couple of Comic Cons and they've grown since I've been, but even back then.
I've only gotten back into toys and everything since like 2020. So.
Right. But even back then, I haven't been there for a while, but even back then, I would say it's much larger than almost all cons. So like, and I think it's a plus for something like PowerCon. It's pretty still like a smaller vibe. People say there's so much you can barely see it, but like, if you can't walk around PowerCon and see everything, you're gonna see a fraction of what's available at SDCC. So I don't know. For me, again, still like PowerCon is like a place that I really, really, really need to go at some point. Get to at some point. So
I still need to go check out Frankenstein's. Now that I know it's not that far, it's only like a half hour from me.
So. It's so close to you. Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So
yeah, if I'm ever there when it's open on a trip down there, I'll hit you up. But every time I go, they're only open Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I think maybe Sundays. It's awkward. All right.
Take my kids.
Take your kids. I'm going to take off this QR code, but it is there, folks. So this is Jonathan's photos, actually. Hedgehog. Just to give you a sense of like how these figs sit next to each other. These are, again, prototypes, but I wanted to show this because of the scale. Thanos, you're looking at that creature.
Yeah.
Right. It's a big one.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's comparable to a little smaller than a Masterverse beast. Battle Cat. It looks like about bigger than the D20 boar. But yeah, it's a cool looking thing, man. It could work with all sorts of stuff. And notice the feet too, the claws.
Gripping. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that thing could probably stand upright for a little bit. So, a little more shots of those.
Yeah, I'd like to see it in a little more action, but
you can't with these things yet. Like, and that's the other magic side that people don't realize about what Trevor does with these, because these are not. Oops, sorry. These are not. Did I put in the wrong? Yeah, these are not production ready figures, so they actually can't be posed and they fall apart, and yet he's still able to get them into a position to make some really cool dramatic shots. So.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Yeah. And we are hitting 2:30. We're doing Oz style. Okay. Let's move on. More creatures again. Sorry, every time I go to Facebook, I don't know how to deal with that. But toy culprits. Colin over on the Mythic Legions Cabal and Sun, I believe, are the toy culprits, and just a couple more maybe clever shots of these figures. I want to show you
just a second, but I'll be right back.
Oh yeah. You'll do your thing. Here's what that thing looks like. There's the armor underneath with that big coat on top, and it still looks awesome and tailored, not like weird and baggy.
Yeah.
All wired.
Okay, that's that same one from earlier. I thought the hair was translucent.
Yeah. Trick of the light. Yeah. I could see them doing that though, either by making a separate piece or doing like dual molding, which is a little challenging, but
cool. Like the Frosta, I have her hair. That Masterverse Frosta, I like her hair.
She looks great, man. Look at that head. That's like Globulus is. No, well, I forget her name. Pains would know because he made a dope custom of her. Cobra Law. Okay, I showed you that. Let's finish up with the Four Horsemen. This is actually from Jeremy Gerard's Mythic Customs account, but you know, some of the displays. If you're at PowerCon, this is the kind of stuff that you'll see. You get to see like, you know, the creators behind the thing, the marketing people. Jeremy is not a sculptor of the Four Horsemen. He works with the Horsemen. He's like their main marketing person. Was a customizer and fan prior to that, but he's also now responsible for like a lot of the copy, essentially, which makes him essentially like the story crafter, right? I mean, he takes the ideas from the Horsemen themselves, and then he's writing it down and kind of working on a book actually for Mythic Legions, and does all the bios and stuff that you see in their marketing material. Oh, it's also Walter Hagen from the Cabal. That's what you see when you go. I don't, you know, and people fall in line for hours. There's figures on here, and you can see like from different, sometimes like things, older things will pop up, and they're always at convention prices, which are just a little bit above pre-order price, but below retailer price. So if you're in a position to be able to go to a con that the Four Horsemen are at, you're getting good prices on current figures as well as older figures. Like some of these are older figures. So there's ways. It may not be just as easy as going to your Target and grabbing a figure, or your Walmart and getting something on clearance. But the toy collecting landscape and the whole retail game is just shifting. So there's new ways. There's more of these displays.
Horsemen, just learning about them, like it's the same thing in these last 3 years. Like I never knew about classics, and once I learned about classics, started learning about the Four Horsemen. I was watching last time on YouTube. They have that Power of Grayskull He-Man documentary.
Yes,
back on YouTube again for free, and Fire and Ice. I watched Fire and Ice.
Oh, that's on there for free. All right.
Yeah, somebody has it on their channel.
I'm gonna watch that with my kid. No, I'm not.
Right.
Look at these floors. Like those are like, hey, let's get together, Pains, and let's make some floors. You know, like that. That's pretty simple. You know, simple-ish. There's the line, looking like Disney, without the e-ticket queue. So there you go. Just a couple of shots of the Horsemen doing their thing. This is now the official coloring book. So an unofficial coloring book, I should say, featuring artists like David Williams and others. That's Alice. Yep. I'm just going to say that for Allison. Check it out. Check it out. All right. Cool. So Scott saying, I watched them set up those first two dials at Legions Con last year. Amazing the work Brian puts in those things. Absolutely. And the sort of, I would love to see how they put together, like if they're modular and how that all works too. I don't know if you saw that big orange, God, what is it? Sorry, I'm blanking. Alien from Cosmic Legion in that sort of like Mythic Legion setting, and it was cool. It worked for me. That's my world of like put space people in like old castles and shit. Made it to Columbus. Thanks for making my yay! I'm glad you made it. So you're going to the con, I'm assuming, and I hope you have a blast. Hey, Ted's here. We haven't gotten to you yet, sir, because we're filled with stuff to look at. We have the Lomo, not quite the FOMO, but the Lomo over here in California, wanting to be out there. Good stuff, Carol. Have a blast. Allison on the Fire and Ice question. She says she watched it last week. Definitely don't watch that with your kid. There's so much cartoon taint. I started taking a drink of my diet soda every time he popped up and killed 3. Okay, so you're saying it taints something I should watch with my son. Yep, got it. Yes, glad that it wasn't boring, and okay. 2 hours, 38 minutes. Yeah, no, I get it. We got to work up to the stuff. All right, here we go. Horseman adjacent because Trevor Williams worked on, as you saw earlier, he's also working on this line, doing the photography for the Frazetta Girls, Fire and Ice figures, Dark Wolf, and there are other figures coming, but they haven't. I don't think they've announced them yet.
I think they said Tigra was next, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. They haven't shown anything about her yet, but yes, they have been putting out there that Tigra's next. Sarah from Frazetta Girls even said that the other day. She had to check. She's like, "Am I okay to say this?" So, which is dope. We're getting the full Fire and Ice. You can recreate some of the taint shots, all that stuff on your own at home, in the privacy of your own home. But I love that they put this on there because it's Frazetta, all about the visuals, right? That is what Frazetta did. He like captured these moments that he had in his brain based on all his influence of seeing like different art styles, etc. And he captured these characters with a still image that resonated. Like, yeah, picture speaks 1,000 words, blah, blah, blah. But it's true, right? Those images stuck with so many of us in our brains, and we didn't necessarily have graphic novels before Bakshi was able to like tell a story that I don't think is that great, but told a story with these characters. I had the story based on the images, right? And like, though, same goes for Masters Universe, etc. So it being a visual medium, I'm super happy that they've got Eamon O'Donoghue, who himself has been responsible for some of your favorite Masterverse boxes, Origins box art, and other toy lines. I love that he's like, yeah, we give credit to everyone here, which is a very artist thing to do, right? That's to cool. Recognize the people who put their hands on these things, which I think is great. Oh, they don't show the front of it, but I want to see if the front is a painting. I think do you guys know? Is it the Frazetta work? Okay, because I
would assume so, but I don't know.
And like, but even this photo, I know that Trevor's like sweating, trying to recreate a Frazetta, right? An image worthy of Frazetta with these toys. But for my money, he's doing a great job, man.
He was saying like the one he was working with was very limited on the articulation.
Yes. And which a lot of people chimed in on, but on Legion's Lounge with the Frazetta girl, with Sarah from Frazetta Girls, he was saying like, nah, I've seen the figure, the sample, and yeah, no, the articulation is there. It I don't think he was necessarily trying to oversell it and say it's going to be the most agile thing on the planet. I believe there's still single elbows, for example, but single joint. But from what they briefly showed earlier, like that, there's no bicep cut. Yeah, it's because it's up here where it blends with the anatomy, and so I'm really curious to see how that all works.
Yeah, I need this for sure.
Yeah, and have you pre-ordered yet?
No, I'm gonna be looking into it next couple days.
Yeah. You don't have an assignment or anything. I didn't mean it to sound like that. But yeah, look at this thing, man.
So crazy to me. That popped up the day after I did that video too. I was just talking about it and looking at it.
Yep. Perfect in this dio. Love the big bulky belt. Again, these are just the prototypes.
Swappable faces too. That's crazy. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
I guess I didn't see that before.
This is going to go right on your... This is perfect, right? This is...
Yeah.
Use that for a Conan custom if you're so inclined, but no, you can use it for this guy. Love the skin tone. Like, this figure is hot. All right. Speaking of hot figures, folks, I know we're going. Maybe before that, is there anybody else that we haven't heard from yet? Let me check. Actually, no, let's sit on that for a second. Let's talk Savage Crucible. So I know, Thanos, you said you got 3 of that Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I've got
the Frazetta guy with the ball and chain, the Harbinger, and Jaeger were the 3 that I went in on.
Yep. So this was our first I don't know, a recent modern 21st century, I think, Frazetta figure, right? Officially licensed Frazetta figure that has sort of been put out there and announced. And so it hasn't been produced yet. And then Obviously now Frazetta girls are also starting their own toy line, which is great. We've mentioned things like, John Carter Mars, and I'm forgetting the name of the dude who did Conan the Barbarian, but like these are seminal works that people use as sort of blueprints to then create other barbarians, other sword and sandals, other sword and sci-fi spaceship kind of things, right? So it's great to see that go back, and then with Savage Crucible to see it kind of put next to their own characters, because we do see a through line, right? These things don't happen in a vacuum. While this is their Harbinger, again with a cool video, this is also very much Cthulhu, Lovecraft, talk about controversial figures, but yeah, just like these are definitely inspired by things, but they're their own creations, and to sort of see them next to an actual Frazetta character is dope. What drew you to these, Thanos?
Well, I'd been seeing them for a while. I thought they were pretty cool, but the first one that really caught me was the Harbinger. I had seen that one a while back before the Kickstarter, so I had been keeping my eye on the Kickstarter. And like these guys are cool too. I didn't pick any of the reptile or fish guys up. I might once they actually come out and spend a little bit more on them, but
I'll bring my reptiles and fish guys to your house and we'll put them in the cat's lair, and I can see your Harbinger.
I need to get someone to print that throne for me though, because it actually hit the goal, so it'll be included.
So this was a Kickstarter goal. If they hit past a certain tier, which they blew past relatively quickly, like this was towards the end, but that thing went fast. But they couldn't quite commit to producing this thing. So what they committed to was unlocking the STL file for people to print on their own. So Aaron Paynes, Thanos has a request, and then I'll go to his house and play with his. All right, so let's take a look what they, that is all I really have. And because of time, I mean, this is not at all too short, Savage Crucible, but we're just going to have to. We're hitting the 3-hour mark. And we've got friends to visit, including the wonderful people over at Hella Dope. I am living in the Bay Area. The words Hella and Dope put together, and the word Hella alone means something to me up here. But yes, they are Columbus natives, right? They are local to this con, and they are there selling their wares. If you are not familiar, they are the fine purveyor of all things nerd. So this is their website, helladopetoys.com. Again, I haven't updated that document, but I will, so you can access their stuff. But there's Google. You're smart too. You don't need me. They've got all this stuff on pre-order. This is one that I'm looking at, waiting to see what the articulation's like. Folks love the biker mice from Mars, both from They Sell. They've got all this stuff. They're still working on other lines to kind of carry. Wish.
Those turtles look really good. I didn't get them, but they look really good.
I've heard nothing but good things about customer service. They will work with you. They are fast. They ship well. Your stuff arrives to you in wonderful working order. They've got all the best stuff. I don't know, like say AWOC, Savage Crucible. Like this is a lot of the stuff that I collect, and I'm really trying to figure out how I can start shifting to buying from them, even though you saw my big bad box over here. But yeah, good stuff. Check them out. On that note, they sent a little something. So let's see how they are doing.
My name is Ted Darklaw, and with me as always is the Black Knight. And this booth is hella dope. We're going to take a look around at our beautiful booth here and show you guys what you missed.
Totally what we're missing, guys.
the Spiro booth. Look at this treehouse. Holy crap. I don't know who made this, but it looks spectacular.
Time to wake up.
And then all the goodies that are about to be ravaged because the doors are about to open any second. There's Kato.
Hey, what's up?
Some shots of the Valaverse booth. Holy crap. Look at that. And all the goodness. And then Travis from Hexastack. Here is the Four Horsemen booth. Look at this.
What is that big demon that was at the top right of the display?
And then that's how you know you're at the Four Horsemen booth.
The big demon.
That super long line.
So I'm gonna go back.
Horsemen booth.
How far back?
Was at the top of the mythic display.
Yeah. That is from the Poxus wave. So you've seen a blue version of these guys. You've seen a yellow version of these guys, much smaller. There is a connection to those guys. I'll say that for Legion's class. But yeah, that's coming in this current wave, or this upcoming wave of things to ship will be Poxus.
I missed out on that one. He looks really good though.
Yeah, definitely more on the sorcery side, including like effects pieces for the sorcerers. And that's why I held off on the green dragon, the Scourge, because you'll see a blue dragon.
Look at this.
These guys are so good.
Yeah.
And then that's how you know you're at the Four Horsemen booth. That and the super long line. Over here we got Hexastack from Mr. Wonderful Travis. He's got these out on display, showing them all off. All right, guys, that's our booth. This is PowerCon, or at least a small piece of it, because we ain't got time. We ain't got time. We're too busy over here.
Making money.
Doors just opened. It's going to be a wild day, so thanks for checking out this little bit. Sorry you can't be here. Love you all.
That's cool.
They're YouTube.
Yeah.
Too. Watching them live on YouTube. They're
Yep.
awesome.
Are they on right now?
No.
Or no, just in general. I was gonna say.
No.
Let's end the stream and go watch. No, yeah. So they do their show. No, what show? What day are they? Sunday nights. Yeah. They do their hella dope show. They check in on what everybody's sipping. It's a great show. Check it out. I was able to be on with Highly Articulated. And again, I don't know, Adam, are you sleeping? Are you good? Because I hope you haven't totally fallen asleep. Hold on, let me help wake him up real quick.
Always talking about what they're sipping.
Wake up, dude. Wake up. Wake up. Look. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Look, they're here. Just another quick shot that I was able to grab. I know you wanted to see the lizard guy. It's not the best shot. It's a great shot, but not the best focus on that lizard. This is again from Geek Dad Life. Jay. And there's that lizard. Whole new body, right? With those scales and everything. I love that the neck, and that sort of changes the whole profile of these figures. Love this guy again with those bright colors.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Hannibal there. I love them all next to each other. Gladiator, Atreyu, Gladiator Pale. I don't think we've released that episode yet because I have been lagging, but talking about those painting. Anyways, the gladiators are hilarious. They took the time to paint themselves. I love this deco that I don't think I saw those markings. Very much Mesoamerican. I hope folks aren't offended and feel like it's appropriation, but I think it's pretty cool just to get that vibe into these toy lines. These things are hot. And I hope more people, hint, wink, wink, folks, cover it on the sort of larger channels, man. Let's give these things a push. I think this is definitely one of those lines that needs some attention. I think it's one that could get much broader mass appeal in this sort of moment of toy collecting.
They're my number one line right now. I have the most fun playing with them.
They are fun, right? Just the way you handle them, the way they move. Yeah, I'm just gonna check the comments really quick and see. No, Allison, give me snarky comments about. Yeah, but I agree, Hannah, and thank you. Welcome. So happy to see you. Oh, actually, even better. This is Daz. Good to see you, man. Yes. Great to have you here. He was into the Frazetta figure. If you don't know Daz, Daz's channel, Dazatron's Diorama Llama channel, has directly been responsible for that, for my attempt at a diorama last week. He inspired me for like over a year, and I finally get to make it happen. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the PowerCon level of toy makers, right? We're seeing more and more new companies come out, and we're going to even see some more still coming up in the short time we're trying to cram this together, of just things that started as a Kickstarter, man. Like, it's wild. Like, the fact that we weren't just talking about one line for a couple of hours, which I've seen some people do last night with Cosmic Legions. Like, there's just a lot to cover. So yeah.
And then as soon as we end, we'll see all the stuff we missed from day 2.
Exactly. And from day 1. This is like, right? Yeah, Silver K, hella dope. She loves it. And even if I don't say hella anymore, yeah, I guess the Bay's passed on. We passed on from Ratchet. We passed on from hella. And of course, Allison apologizes. She was in a side conversation and wasn't able to fully be as sassy as she needed to be in the moment that she was there. Payne says, don't forget to check your Insta after you sign off, Brick. Ooh, that's ominous. No, hopefully that's a good thing.
It's probably
and that's your cue, Kayla. Okay. Now that we took that little pause on that Animal Warriors thing to wake up Adam. All right. Hexastack, friend of the channel, in the midst of a Kickstarter. 26 days still left to go. There was a goal here of 24,000, and yes, this is where we are at. We need a multiplier of 1,000, folks. So what is Hexastack? If you're not familiar, it's a system for displaying your figures based on, you guessed it, the MCU hexagon, so that they sort of slide in together, and then they have little slots for you to move in and to put in different pegs for different types of figures. The taller ones, as you see in the back, also have drawers to be able to store supplies, extra heads, extra hands, and these things are stackable, so you can have adjustable heights. They also work for other things, not just action figures, but since we're talking action figures today, we'll focus on that. There's your Valaverse / G.I. Joe classified figures standing together in harmony, getting along, and everybody is just happy. Here's some wrestling figures. Right, and you see that they fit together in a nice sort of aesthetically pleasing arrangement. You can customize them. They come with flight stands to add on. If you're not going to use the pegs for your flying characters, they got other ones that are textured, and you see some different textures. You see the wood, the stone, the brick. Hey. So again, as I was saying, you could put in cards, whether they're your Magic the Gathering cards, your sorcery cards, your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, your Pokemon cards, baseball cards, or like if you want to do a display of artwork for like a certain shelf of figures, right? Nameplates that are magnetic. Oh, I forgot to mention that. All these little stands are magnetic, so they connect to one another. You don't have to worry about like moving them around so much and having them shift. So definitely check this out. I will update that document so that you can scan that QR code for the banner that is talking about for hella long. And let's help Travis out if you're interested in looking for, like, if you're looking for something to display your figs, don't just, just do it just to do it, although that's nice. I think Travis, Mr. Wonderful, aka Hexastack, has come up with something that could definitely like fill another gap, fill a hole, if you will, in the market, right? I think there are folks looking for ways to display. And I know Thanos, you backed this, yeah?
Yeah, I backed a couple of the sets. Looking forward to actually being able to just put some, because most of my figures are in like action poses and stuff. There's some that I would like to display like as teams, so to be able to put them on different heights and store their alternate hands and heads in there will be really nice. I know when I was going through my display and like changing some stuff a couple weeks ago, I was like, man, I wish these were out already.
Yeah, no, I'm part of the problem. I need to jump in and back these soon because I definitely have a use. Like as you saw, I'm starting to move to the dio, so I'm going to be doing some ground and stuff. But there's some uses that I want to use for because they look very crystalline and like or statuesque. So there's some things I want to do with some of them, and I definitely want to.
I'm definitely going to paint them up, but I'm looking forward to them.
Cool. What you think, Cobb?
I just love Travis. He's done so much work doing this, and I've been watching from when he first started talking about it and then hopping around. I think I've seen him on every YouTube live. He's been on, following him around. So I know the ins and outs of these things completely already. I'm going to be back in some here pretty soon, too. And
nice.
Little time left, so.
Yeah, and like here's the deal. Like again, I want to see the push, and I want to see him pull it out and make. Sorry again, Kayla, to get to that 24,000 goal. But hey, like even Jason, AWOC, and like early attempts to do Kickstarters, they don't always happen, and so I think there's a lot of opportunity here still. And I know he's at PowerCon talking to people, making relationships, and what I'm hearing from him is that people are excited. There's definitely a market, so it's just about getting out there. And on that note, let's hear from him.
I know he's been working his butt off.
Hey folks, this is Travis over at Hexastack here at PowerCon 2023, and just enjoying myself here, talking to all the fans of the community, the collectibles here, and just really overall having an opportunity to share my brainchild, Hexastack, with everyone. Everyone's been very excited and open to hearing what I have to offer. Really appreciate that. I would say one of the coolest things that I've had the opportunity to do here was meet with all of the other indie lines that are out here, chill with my buddies over a couple spots around the corner there over at Hella Dope, kind of see them and talk to those guys, catch up with Oz and the others that are in town, which has been really cool. Checked out the Valaverse booth just down the line here from me. Meeting with Jason over at Spiro Toys is really one of the big opportunities I've enjoyed. Checking out Savage Crucible, Rob and those guys over there, and having a chance to meet with N.E.W.S over there, and Ace from Ramen Toys, getting to catch up with him for a few minutes and a few things later. But overall, it's just been a really cool experience. Can't believe in under 4 months here or so, gone from a concept and idea to the opportunity to be able. It's been one of the coolest toy conventions I've ever been to. Only been to like 1 or 2 small ones, but this is really cool and one of the largest ones. If you have the chance to get out to it, definitely recommend coming out next year, or even if you have time to swing by for tomorrow, if that's an option. Thank you for the opportunity, Brick. Big shout out to my boys over there that are promoting their AWOC talk stuff, and everyone else that's in the Toy Network. Thank you so much. And hey, if you haven't, get out there and back the stack.
Back the stack. Love it. Yeah, so that's Travis. Thank you, Travis. I know he's having a good con. And what do you think? Are we going to make it out there tomorrow? Is that the plan?
Let's get a group on.
Yeah. Next year. All right. So let's move on. Real quick. And so I know I keep saying real quick, but we are going to move through these pretty quickly. Fresh Monkey Fiction is another one of those that I don't hear people chatter. I hear them sort of chatter about stuff, especially like the Santas were a big deal for a little bit. Monster Force was a big deal for a little bit. But they, too, are dipping their toes into some science fiction. This is their new Voyagers, and this time 112 line, which if you're not wondering why I make a big deal of that, it's because they've been making these figures for their Eagle Force line that I've been wanting, but they're smaller, right? You've seen those, like the Hidden is one that I like. It looks like a Micronauts character, and I was like, man, if only they would take almost that exact same figure and just blow it up to 112, I would totally they're doing it, right? They're like, yeah, Brick, yeah, shut up. We got you. We want your money too. So they're moving from that 4-inch line. They're continuing with the 4-inch line, but they're taking some of those same designs and blowing them up and then adding to them. But you've heard me say this word a lot: Micronauts, Micronauts, Micronauts. That's exactly what this is, a direct homage to, if it's maybe even more than an homage. But I love this. It's got the exact same name as their 4-inch figure of this character, the Hidden. So depending on how these size, I'm likely to be getting these too. But this is something that was revealed at the con around this, around the same time as the con. This is another character that's very similar to, or is one in the line. I was actually going to get this figure and this figure in their 4-inch just last week, but then I was like, nah, I'm good. Because in my head, I was rationalizing it. Well, Micronauts are tiny, so it works. I stepped away, and look, it paid off.
That's good. Glad you waited.
These are great for me, at least. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a line that I know, but it's funny to me though that they are skirting this line of very clearly reminiscent characters from something else. This is not that different from a Masters of the Verse from Ramen Toy or a Machina. Very similar thing happening here. I find it interesting that I don't hear people naming that in the same way they are when it comes to Ramen Toys. But that's totally what's happening here, including like the accessories they're adding with this. This is all Micronauts. And this, are there any comic book fans, sci-fi fans in here familiar with a property that looks like this?
I don't know what it's from.
It looks
Very much from
me.
a comic book called Saga, one of like the best modern science fiction properties out.
It's been on my to-read list for a long time. I have not got to it yet.
It is one of those that is like, just like these toys that I harp on that need more attention, Saga needs to be witnessed by more human beings, because I know people love it. So anyway, we've got different folks here like Mega J. I did send you the link, but yeah, you're good. No, I know you're super busy. You can do that. No pressure, and we'll probably get together tonight anyway. Hope you're having a good time in the States and on the
I think he said something to send you, and then it's send it in 5 minutes, so he might have sent you something.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
I don't know anything about this guy, but he's really cool.
Yeah, no, he is cool. He's weird. He's different, right? Like this, and that's where again, it's largely from Saga, but it's not direct. Like there's some changes, so, but it's cool. All right, I said I'd go through these fast. Fresh Monkey Fiction is also continuing with their Monster Force stuff, where they are doing kind of like monsters that we know and militarizing them. Essentially, they become a force to fight evil. They announced the wave 1s, right? And then more waves are coming. They haven't yet released them, but this is actually a figure that was using the exact same buck. They work with the designers and the producers of this Memory Toys bear, and they designed their own head for it and are collaborating with Gridiron Studios. You can see the weapons there, and they produced a Bigfoot with a BFG. Yeah, man, this is for all your Sasquatch needs. I love just how again the repaint can totally change a figure, as shown here. But this is exciting to me, and I'm gonna try my best to kind of move a little quicker because of time.
Yeah, he's amazing looking.
Are you all entranced by the gigantic figure thing, or is that just a weird simple brick something thing?
Sometimes. The Mythic Legion troll definitely got me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ordered the big guy from the last All-Stars wave as well. I can't remember his name.
He's an ogre? Ooh, I'm blind.
Yeah, I think he was ogre scale. It'll be my first one in that scale.
Yeah, there's something about just being able to hold a big figure like that in your hand too. It just makes you feel like a kid.
Totally.
Your hand used to be small and your figures were so huge.
Yep. We are absolutely we are chasing that childhood, right? In all forms. Yep. There's my Micronauts. No, Micronauts brick. Yep. Thanks, Aaron. Hannah, sorry, and Daz is saying there's a possible Micronauts film in the works with Chris Pratt. I haven't heard anything, but that looks great. And yep, their Micronaut style characters look way cool. Largo's big into the Fresh Monkey fiction. Yeah, we saw the saga and loving that BFG. Here's some stuff that, again, the Caligari reminds me of that some of that Acid Rain stuff that Super 7's working on.
I like that guy. He looks really cool.
Some Hellboy.
Yep, exactly.
Mignola. Then they've got this stuff like this really cool sculpting on these. And I've heard good things about what they've done so far. The only thing I think people have in hand from this scale are their Santa Claus figures. And folks have said good things about those. So I will definitely get a Bigfoot. I don't know which else I'll get because they skew a little bit more like real world military to me. That doesn't totally work on my shelf, but look at that.
That's cool too.
It's the Nazi Harbinger.
Hydra.
Dude, is that Rhodey? Is that, or is that a scroll? Awkward. Yeah, we've got some Ninja Demon vibes. This guy is Halloween Boy. Again, Wave 2 weapons all by Gridiron. That's a cool collaboration, I think.
Yeah, sword's really cool.
This guy was just announced. His name is the Donner Party. I am so tempted to get him too. I think I could probably make him work because I think he's a cool looking character. I don't know. What am I doing? This was weird to me. I don't know. Maybe these are just like larger sculpts or something. Or I guess maybe he's a larger figure. I don't know. But these figures are supposed to be the same. It might just be the angle because he's on like an acrylic riser. All right, enough of my Wookiee fetish. More Monster Force. I need to show you more of the Donner Party and that dope soft goods cape. Great figure, accessories. All right, truly is winding down, folks. I don't think I have any more videos either. So Thundercats, just to name, Super 7 is there, and a bunch of other people aren't there that we are not featuring, but Super 7 was there. From We Want More Thundercats, my go-to for anything Thundercats, announcing that more waves are announced. We're getting more, they're coming, things are still top secret, but in other words, Thundercats isn't going anywhere. I know there was a little bit of hiccup with some of their Super 7 Ultimates lines that just frankly weren't, the numbers weren't there. So it doesn't mean that the line's dying. It just means that the pre-orders for those particular figures weren't there. And yes, if the pre-orders aren't there for these figures, this could go away too, just to throw that out there. But just to give you a sense that like the other companies are there, they do panels, etc. More from Hedgehog, but we don't need to look at that right now, just to give you more of a sense of how your life in a year or so.
It's so big.
Yeah. Speaking of so big, what's up, Mega J? Walking around? He's like, I've been walking around for so long and you've been like ignoring me. What's going on? How's everything over there?
Well, I'm walking through an anime convention right now, so this is gonna be a little bit interesting. The way you guys are watching this, it's there are a couple of conventions going on right now. One of them is an anime convention, and the other one is, of course, PowerCon. And we're on the other side of the building right now, so yeah, I'll just give you a little.
It's happening in the same. It's in the same. It's the same center. No, you probably can't hear.
Sorry, what was that? What was that, Rick?
You're actually this is the same location, same venue as PowerCon?
Yeah, this is the same venue. See, so check this out. So again, this is the anime section right here.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on exhibit hall A, B, C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then if we head over here, you can see the PowerCon over this way, right?
And that's happened before in the past with PowerCon too. They've had like sort of adjacent. Yeah. So how's it going?
Brother, it is insane. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I've been stopped every 10 minutes. People stop me and say, "Hey, I watch your show," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You do not watch my show?" And they're like, "No, we watch your show." So it's been an absolutely humbling experience. I'm absolutely floored at the support and the camaraderie this year. So many different companies. Met Ramen Toy today. Aces over there. Talked to Brian for a few minutes. Hopefully I'll get the chance to get him on camera because huge news for Canadians. They finally have a partner, so we're able to actually get proper shipping up to Canada. So I want to get that on camera because he's not really advertising it much, and I think that's a shame. So I really want to get that done. As you can see, we're moving into the PowerCon area now, and those are the gates. I'll give you guys a bit of a sneak bit, but you can see all the anime. Everybody's in costume here. Everybody's in cosplay. Great stuff. Everybody's having fun. So yeah, it's a really great time. Oh man! And of course, we just went for lunch because it's absolutely nuts here. Haven't had a break ever since we started. So yeah, come to live from PowerCon, guys. I didn't even know there's a subway here. Are you serious?
Thank you so much for stopping in. I know you're busy, you're trying to get through, but I appreciate it. I hope you all had a good rest of your drive. I got to catch a little bit of I got the first video and got to sort of see your travels. I don't know if you saw the message that I shared.
What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
See? There
Sorry,
it is.
somebody just said hi.
Exactly.
All right,
That's
so
it.
here are the gates of PowerCon. And we are going to be entering the gates of PowerCon right now. And you guys can join us. Wonderful security people. Thank you so much for your hard work, everybody. Take care. And here we are walking into PowerCon. There it is, everybody. We got Eternia right here. It's absolutely massive. We got everybody and Eternia and the Sorceress. They're all here. Everybody's doing their thing. This is crazy.
It looks like there's a lot of space to move around, though.
You know what? Again, it's not San Diego, and I love that. I love the fact that it's not San Diego. I love the fact that everybody actually has some room to breathe because, you know, everybody, we have some super fans here. Are we good to see you guys?
How we doing?
Doing good? We're doing good?
Hey.
Everybody's friendly here. That's what's going on. This is
You
a
gotta
great
give them a
place
holy
to be
crap.
right now. Yeah. Look at this place. Just absolutely luring. We're gonna just duck into this area here because you guys were just chatting about it. So we're gonna go. There they are. Look who's here, guys. Brick something. Say hi to everybody here.
Hey, how's it going? There's Oz. What's up, Oz?
We're going crazy over here, guys. We're going crazy. Everybody's doing their thing. We want to say hi. See you guys here. One other second. We're gonna go over here because we're going to take a look at Hexastack. You guys were just talking about it. So Travis is right here. There's the man, Travis himself.
How's it going, everyone?
That's Brick something.
Oh, hey, Brick. What's up, brother?
Man. Thank you again for the video. I hope you're having a great show.
Look at these things, guys. Look at these things. Here. Look at them. That's what we're talking about, boys.
In action.
That's what we're talking about. Look at the stack. Back to stack. Get on Kickstarter. Help them out. Look at those things. They stack so well. All right, gents, we're gonna get going. But thanks for all the support. We're gonna see you guys later.
Okay, thank you. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Right on. Man, did you see how? Oh wait. I did. I am. I see them. There they are.
Bye, everybody.
Be awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good dinner. We'll check in if we can. See ya. Bye. Yeah. Again, that Lomo, man.
Yeah, looks like a lot of fun.
It looks like an incredible amount of fun. Yeah, I think actually that's probably a fair place to stop. We ended with Super 7. We ended with Mega. Oh, perfect timing for Thanos to drop off. We got to see some of our friends. Hopefully Thanos can jump back on. Hope everything's good.
Yeah, he'll probably be back in a sec.
Okay. While we wait, what is going on here?
All has to answer his phone.
There he is.
My tab crashed, I guess. I don't know. Never had that happen. I've been on lives for like 6 hours with Oz before, so
yeah, all good.
I know I'll be right back.
I guess Mega J, crashed you.
We've gone through longer than this.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we can close out anyway. But I just wanted to end. Maybe that's a good time because they were showing that Eternia. I was laughing like it's huge, and I was like, yeah, well, that's to make you feel better because it's bigger than what it's gonna end up being at your house. But the cat's lair. So that's still the cat's meow at the moment. It's still going on till September 17th. Coincidentally, the same end date for the Cosmic Legion's Ox Crew pre-order window. 3,206 backers currently. So we're past the 3,000 goal. It's just a question of those tier unlocks. I don't know where this is going. They do have till the 17th. I think I threw out there that I think they could actually get to 5,000. I'm wondering if people, because there will be sort of a big swell towards the end, but that's what today's about too, right? It's to get it in front of more people. They hauled that thing out from the West Coast to there for a reason. So we'll see. But I know Thanos is getting it.
I'm hoping we get to 4,000. I want the lab set.
Yeah.
If we don't get it, I'll be like, whatever. But if we get it, I'll be pretty pumped.
Yeah. If you don't get there, I'll get you a $25 Cosmic Legions set of stuff that you can kind of pretend Tiger's.
I might just throw that in with it anyway.
Breaking Bad Thundercats.
Breaking Bad Thundercats, cooking some meth. Yeah, there it is. We'll see. So, that's a whole thing. I've hung out with Jay on his stream, really, Mega Jay, talking about this thing plenty. So, I'll limit it here, but this thing is still amazing to me. Obviously, there's so many great things at PowerCon. Apparently, there's an anime convention right next door. So, all right, folks, thank you both so much for joining me today. Super fun, just hanging out. Let me go back to this because I keep shortchanging Cobb over here. Thanks for hanging out. Obviously, there's more reveals. People already in the chat have said, more stuff from AWOC has been revealed, including Kali. Check it out. It's still going on. Follow stuff on Instagram. I'll try my best through my community tab to maybe share some things. It's still going on. I suspect that we'll be hanging out again tonight on another live stream, maybe just to check in with the folks. There's going to be a big dinner of a bunch of those folks that you just saw, a couple of other toy tubers, and we'll see if we can catch them live for a little bit, but we'll see.
Take me a nap before then.
Yeah. And Thanos. So Thanos has mentioned several times, man, I like the news. Break something news. When are you going to do the news? And I've been hearing it, and I will. And I'm hoping to do this specific show, not this long, but more regularly. And I think the key is I'm just going to have to do it live. And I'm going to be continuing to do what we did today and hopefully bring on some guests and including some folks in the chat. Would love to sort of just have you jump on. Let's talk about things that we're seeing, maybe talk about some customs we're looking at, some photos we're looking at, some artwork we're looking at, as well as some of the toy news, and just hang out a little more regularly, because Monday is the 1 year anniversary / birthday of the Brick Something channel. I think we're hovering close to 400. I've done this thing of going up and then going down, going up and then going down. Hopefully we don't go too far down, but whatever. It's been fun. as you'll see on the message at the bottom down there, if you want to really like support because you're feeling that, I design shirts and I put them up there. I know Thanos has one. I know a bunch of folks have. So I appreciate that. It's not going to make me rich, but it's just fun. It's extra fun for me to get the artwork out there, honestly. So there's all sorts of ways, but the main thing is to tell people about the channel, have them consider liking, subscribing, doing all the YouTube things. So there's that. Sorry, Thanos, covering you up for a second in exchange for an awesome face. Alice and Troy,
It's worth it.
I'm glad you think this has been fun. You're absolutely welcome. I appreciate you hanging out. Yes, listen to Silver K and smack people and snack people. So we will definitely
cannibalism.
Back to the Donner Party. Yes. Largo, thank you. Oh shoot, I should have done this. My bad. Passing on the message from one sibling to another. Oz, answer your phone. Anyways, like again, thank you guys. We'll be doing the news more regularly. What do you guys got coming up? Cobb, you've been doing a bunch of different reviews. What's on the burner?
Nothing, waiting for just some more waves come in. Got motherboard, I think will be here Monday.
Nice.
You order that, Brick?
I got it through Silver.
Oh yeah, never mind. I don't know why
I haven't opened it, and the only reason I opened it is because somebody asked me to confirm that awesome information on the bottom. I got to do that soon.
I don't know. Mattel Creations always seems like it takes forever to get over here to me in California. See everybody else get back, but
kind of weird considering where they're at, but yeah.
That's it though. Just popping out videos when I can. Never have a schedule or anything. Some shorts here and there. So just have.
Well, check out the channel. The information's in the description, as well as a link to his Instagram. And yeah, we'll definitely collaborate more and jump on and do a couple of these things. That would be awesome. What about you, Thanos?
So I'm coming up on my year on Instagram of toy photos. So I'm starting a YouTube series where I'm going to go back a week at a time and just go over the photos. It's going to start really, really rough, just to let you guys know. But yeah, I plan on doing that once a week, putting out a week worth of shots and going over them on YouTube. And then I'll still be posting daily on Instagram. So.
Yep. So definitely check it out daily. The special themes on Wednesdays and Fridays. Maybe don't look at those on the big screen at work. But yes, some cool stuff, and always trying to continue to up his game. Like it's a constant, like, I don't know. I see that, man. I love it. Same with the channel. It's like we keep trying new things and improving.
I had to laugh.
Did Thanos freeze?
Oh, I think so.
All right, folks. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's cloning himself. Whoa, what is going on? There's some weird stuff going on.
I don't know. Technical difficulties. My browser is just being finicky today, I guess.
Okay, so Thanos' information is also in the description. Also, that document, I'll make the pitch one last time. There is a QR code, or you can use the URL described at the bottom. I'm going to update that right after we hang out, because I know I stopped at 4 Horsemen, but I'll include some of that stuff. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep adding some more PowerCon stuff as it comes up. So if you want to go back and check that document, I just do it because it's fun and I love, sharing info, and ultimately it's for me to document all the stuff that I'm doing. All right, folks, we have officially gone 3 hours and 28 minutes. I thank everybody for hanging out here with us today, and especially those of you, the 10 of you who are still in here for the long haul. You guys are amazing. So look out on the channel, subscribe. We will be back soon with more news, probably. All right, folks. Try to enjoy what's left of your Saturday. I got to go feed my kid.
Later, everybody.
And watch Fire and Ice. No.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Without the
Have
kids.
a great